Driving me crazy just looking at it. Combing your hair with your hand gives me feelings I don't understand. Combing your hair with your hand gives me feelings I don't understand. You do this thing when you're biting your lip. It's driving me crazy just looking at it. You know me better than I know myself. I don't wanna live in a world without you. You do this thing when you're biting your lip. It's driving me crazy just looking at it. You know me better than I know myself. I don't wanna live in a world without you. World without you. Driving me crazy just looking at it. World without you. Driving me crazy just looking at it. You do this thing when you're biting your lip. Without you, driving me crazy just looking at it. Driving me crazy just looking at it. Combing your hair with your hand gives me feelings I don't understand. Combing your hair with your hand gives me feelings I don't understand. You do this thing when you're biting your lip. It's driving me crazy just looking at it. You know me better than I know myself. I don't wanna live in a world without you. You do this thing when I'm talking to you, like everything freezes and it's just you. You do this thing when I'm talking to you, like everything freezes and it's just you. You do this thing when you're biting your lip. It's driving me crazy just looking at it. You know me better than I know myself. I don't wanna live in a world without you. Give it to me like world without you. Driving me crazy just looking at it. World without you. Driving me crazy just looking at it. You do this thing when you're biting your lip. World without you. Driving me crazy just looking at it. Driving me crazy just looking at it. You know me better than I know myself. I don't wanna live without you.
Good afternoon, people. How's everyone doing? I hope you're all good out there. As you can see, we have plenty of news coming in, or let's just say I wish we did. I mean, what the hell is going on at Spurs? Not a lot at this moment in time by the look of it. I'm starting to sit here and I must admit, I'm starting to get bored. I'm starting to get frustrated. I'm starting to get frustrated that we don't seem to be doing nothing. I'm starting to get bored in the aspect of what we all keep talking about. And that is the same thing over and over again because we've really got nothing else to talk about at the moment. I mean, seriously, in that aspect, what is actually going on here? What is actually happening? What is Daniel Levy or whoever is in charge, I know people have their opinions on who's in charge and who ain't, actually doing at Tottenham at the moment? I keep reading a few little things here, a few little things there. I mean, obviously it's going to get brought up, but if I speak any more than 15 minutes about Morgan Gibbs-White, I'll probably either turn up and kidnap him and bring him to the club, or I'll do something else so we don't have to talk about him anymore, so he's not there anymore. The situation is starting to get frustrating, and it is also starting to get to the point where I'm sick of the fella's name that I'll probably dislike him by the time he comes to Tottenham. And that is not how it is meant to be. And then when you hear something crazy come up like, we are looking at Rodrigo, you just sort of think, where did that come from? I mean, seriously. Whoever brought up that one and whoever made up that, I mean, to me, next time, just say no. Drugs are bad. Because that's the sort of effect it has on people. I mean, yeah, strange. But I've got a guest with me I'm going to bring on in a minute. It comes on here with me quite a lot. And also can say hello to a few people on here first. And look, Eugene, hi, everyone. Big up to you. Levy out. Well, Levy's not in control anymore, is he, mate? Few people saying Levy's not in control. So if Levy's not in control, is Levy the actual problem now? Do we even know if he's in control or who is in control? That's the question I ask a few people. Tony, big up Dan and guest from chat. Big up to you, mate. Always on here. Mark, I think I'll just read the big up Dan bit. Big up to you too. And if I remember right, you are doing your first show at 4:30. So people, make sure you get over there and give him a like and subscribe and watch his first show on his own at 4:30. Mark, if you put the link on there, mate, then everyone will be able to see where and when you are. And Howler Mad Murdoch, big up Dan and all in here in the chat. Big up to you too, mate. And Aussie Frank, big up Dan, big up to you. Terry as well, big up Dan in the chat. Same with you, fella. Hope you're having a good day. And Rob, always good to see you on here, mate. Big up your Morgan Gibbs won't. Mate, it is starting to do my peanut in to the point where he's just pissing me right off. Like I said, just either get him out or just I'm at that point now where if we blow him out and go for someone else, I really won't care that much. I do still think the deal will come through, but it's just how painful it is on how it's going to come through. It's the frustration is an understatement. I mean, some are even saying that one has held us back. I mean, surely not, but I will go into that one, but I will try very hard not to talk about Morgan Gibbs-White too much. And Spurs fan, big up chat, big up to you too. Ben, all right, everyone, how you doing, mate? It was great to see you at the barbecue. And must admit, those chocolates you left on there, I got to try one of them, mate. They was absolutely stunning. They was brilliant. I do love a good bit of chocolate. And Leslie, yo, Dan, big up to you too. And 2 marks. Big up, Dan, mate. Subscribe and like to Hotspur Hood. Much appreciated. Cheers, fella. And yeah, Spurs fan, Morgan Gibbs-White may get done at the last minute. Just nothing would surprise me, mate. But we need to be working on other signings and getting Deadwood out of this club. Well, that is another thing as well, isn't it? No one seems to be moving. No one seems to be going nowhere either. I mean, I'm not hearing about any interest really in anyone we've got. I mean, I've heard that there was a bit of interest in Basuma, basically, but he wasn't interested in going. And, well, where does that go from there? I mean, because we definitely need to clear some of that shit out to also bring the other stuff in and that, but... Then there's the other side. Why can't we just do it like the other clubs? But again, another point I'm going to get to a little bit later. And Clement, big up, Dan. Big up to you too. And also, Paul, afternoon, Dan and chat. Hopefully everyone's well. Hopefully you're well as well. And that's Mark and Mark talking with Mark and Ben. And Alpesh, it's a 3-week transfer drought at sour old Spurs. Yes, it is. And last one I'll go through quickly is the Spurs fan. Dan, please try and cut down the smoking, mate. I'm bored and frustrated too, mate. Well, if you're actually just on that bit even, yeah, if you actually watch me on quite a few of the shows, I don't actually smoke that much on here like I used to. I've actually cut down on my smoking a hell of a lot. The strange thing is I don't actually smoke that much. It's usually when I'm on a show and talking about Spurs, I end up either smoking a fag or just a vape. Or the other thing is when I'm out down the pub socializing, then I smoke indoors. Maybe I go through 3 a day, if that. All depends on the day and what I'm talking about. And if I'm talking about Spurs, it is the frustration. And also when it comes down to smoking, if I'm going to be honest, I smoke the other stuff more, but that's on the medical side. And that's usually after chatting about Spurs because it actually relaxes me. So trying to relax after you spoke about Spurs isn't easy. But anyway, with what you're saying there, it's appreciated. And Levy will play hardball even more if there's been investment. He has not got over the money he has wasted on Ndombele and Lo Celso. But if it isn't Levy's money and Spurs money that is come in there, basically, and it is just money to spend, I can't see Levy, if he is in control, having a problem spending the money because it ain't his money to worry about. But we still don't seem to be doing it. And Carlson, big up, Dan. This transfer window is doing my head in, dying of boredom. You know what I mean? I'm literally at the point where instead of, I'd rather just go play on my PlayStation. It's more bloody interesting. And Archer, big up, Dan. Our ownership has a knack of sucking the life out of everything in every way possible. Just as it hits a fucking point, you think, yes, we're going somewhere, we're going to do something, and then nothing. And then you're sitting there talking about the same thing that's meant to be happening over and over again. And then you get to that point where it's my favourite saying on here, same Spurs, different day. And Spurs fit as well. Just a rumour in the attempt to trigger something. Would not surprise me in the slightest. And Kuda's still optimistic about this window. I must admit that every day goes by, I'm not so optimistic about it, but I do know how Spurs work. Right, just getting ready to bring in my guest and Miss Money. Don't forget to hit the like. Big up to you. Much appreciated. And Terry also saying, same as probably the rest of us, same old Shire FC. Yep, same Spurs, different day, with Clement saying, Spurs are not serious. We want players in and players out. Yes, we are. We just don't seem serious. And Jeff, big up to you too, mate, as well. And one that I've always got to say a big hello to, Sue Smith. What about the window? Dan, does not affect us. And Sue, hope you're doing good for yourself and feeling better from what you said the other day. Right, bring on my guest if he is ready. Ben,
I am ready. How you doing? You all right?
Are you ever ready to talk about Spurs?
Fuck. That was a bad start. Should we try again? Let's just wrap this up and go again.
Well, tell you what, I'll remove you and I'll add you again. There you go.
I'm so sorry about that. I'm going to put my phone on mute. That was not the way I wanted to start. I'm so sorry.
What
How are we?
Who gives a shit? Yeah, same Spurs, different day, fella. Same Spurs, different day.
Boring.
I mean, what is going on with this transfer window? I mean, I know you can answer that in a sentence, and that is sweet FA, but what the hell's going on?
What, mate, I don't know. I mean, wrong person to ask. It's just, I called it a little while back. I had a feeling this Morgan Gibbs White stuff would slow us down in other areas.
Yeah, wrong one. I saw the name Mark. Totally wrong one. Got that totally wrong. I just realised that myself when you put that. Sorry, wrong mark I put that with. I'll bring up the proper thing in a minute. Go on with what you're saying.
Yeah, no, mate, nothing overly special. It's gotten boring. It's gone back to the old Spurs. We thought we had something new, didn't we? We thought, we were spending money and it's just died. But like I said, I called it with the Morgan Gibbs White issue. As soon as that sort of got shot in the foot, it's affected transfers elsewhere. I mean, there's so many other key areas we need to be looking at, and just nothing is happening, mate. Like you said, there's rumours galore, but no movement right now. And it's tough being a Spurs fan at this precise moment in time. Hello, Brian. But yeah, so I don't know, mate. Your guess is as good as mine.
And all right, Brian, how you doing, mate? Hope you're having a good day. And Ben, them chocolates were lovely, weren't they? I must admit, them chocolates were sexy. They was nearly as good as my jerk chicken. But yeah, like you're saying, that it just seems to be that we just ain't moving. I mean, surely, look, I'm going to bring him up first, yeah, and we'll get this crap out of the way, yeah. What the fuck is going on with this Morgan Gibbs White now? Yeah, I mean, it was saying that he didn't go out to Portugal and it looks like things are working, and now it's saying he's gone out to Portugal. What is going on with this thing now? I know it's gone to the FA, whatever else, and that. Surely that is not holding us back on everything else. It doesn't seem to do that with any other club. I know we're Spurs and we just do things totally back to front. When I say back to front, that's a bit of an understatement. But surely it can't just be that is holding us back from doing anything else. Surely not. I mean, surely there's more than one person doing the job in that. I mean, what do you reckon? Oh, I think it's just kicked him out and I think he's just frozen on there. He'll jump back on in a second. Well, since it's just me now, with the Morgan Gibbs White thing, I just honestly don't know where we're going at with it. I mean, surely there is more than one person out there doing this job to buy someone. Surely we have got more than one fella out there who is just focusing on this Morgan Gibbs White thing to try it and get it through. But we're focusing on this one fella here, and we just don't seem to be doing nothing on nothing else. Nothing seems to be happening. Nothing seems to be going anywhere. And I think everyone is finding it frustrating to the point where is it going to happen or not? But I still think it is going to happen. I mean, I'll let Ben come back on when he comes back on and he can say his piece on it and that. So I'll say hello to a couple of others on here because still got a couple of points to go through. I mean, Terry's saying we can't get players out the door again. Yeah. I mean, why don't that surprise me? And we can't get players out the door again. Solomon and Gill still haven't been moved. It's an absolute joke. I mean, Gill is just at that point. Do you know what? It ain't worked, mate. ask him if he wants his contract cut and just cut your losses and go, or just put him out there on a free. Look, someone take him, please. He's got to go. And I totally agree with what you're saying on that one. And Solomon, I reckon if we put down an 8 million price tag on him, I mean, we could possibly get more, but if we put down an 8 million on him, I personally think we could just get rid of him easy enough. So going back on what I was just saying there before whatever cut you off, as it does sometimes. Shit happens,
mate, to be fair, I thought it was you. It was my internet just went. I don't know.
It is what it is. It happens.
Anywho.
It is what it is. Is a phrase you learn at Spurs very much so.
Yeah.
What is happening with Morgan Gibbs-White then? What is going on with it? He's gone out to Portugal. Like I said to people, we got 5 minutes left to talk about it. It seems I just went on about it for about 10 minutes. What is happening? Is that really slowing us down? Are you telling me, is anyone telling me that for the fact that we're waiting for this deal to go through with Morgan Gibbs-White and fighting for it, that it's holding us back from doing anything else? Surely not. I know we're Spurs and we're as back to front as anyone can actually be, but it don't seem to be holding anyone else back from doing 2-3 deals at the same time. And if we could also have Kudus join us, and then the next day, basically, it looked like Morgan Gibbs-White was coming to us, then obviously we can get more than one deal working at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, look, listen, I don't want to talk about Morgan Gibbs-White any more than you do, mate. It's gotten real boring. I don't want to say too much because obviously I know Brian's in the chat and he's going to get a bit upset. But I'm at the point with Gibbs-White, I just move on to someone else. I cannot be asked with it anymore. It's boring the hell out of me. So look, from what I understand, from what we've all seen, he didn't turn up to his training camp initially because of a personal problem, apparently, or I think his wife's pregnant, something along them lines. I'm not 100% sure. But he has now joined up with the squad. From what I'm gathering, mate, look, the way Tottenham work, I would just imagine, and this is why I said it in the first place, the way Spurs work, we seem to do one deal at a time. It's never like multiple, is it? So I would assume that's why we're not moving on elsewhere. But with Gibbs-White, mate, I'm sick and tired of it. I'm bored of the notion that he could be coming. He's not coming. Can we just fucking put it in the back burner? Move on. I mean, you know, the worst thing is, I've never said this out loud before, but look, Morgan Gibbs-White is a great player. He is. Mm-hmm. But in our current situation, do we really need him? Do you not think like maybe a number 6 would be more prevalent than a third number 8? What do you think about that?
But why is it one or the other?
No,
I know that's how Spurs work. Basically, we're saying we've got the money and go for both, basically. And with that one, just quick answer to the wife here, or when drinking a lot. Yeah, all right, I got the picture at the dig there. Yeah, I got the picture. That was when someone mentioned to me, slow down on the smoking. You know what? I blame Sava for that. That's his fault. I mean, the barbecue we had at his place on the Saturday, it was really good. It was really good to meet a lot of people there that I hadn't actually met before, but got to know on here and everything. But for the fact it was a good barbecue was why I drank a lot that night. And yeah, I must admit, by the time I got home, I was pretty, what's the nice way to put it? I was pretty shit-faced, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, I don't drink that often.
No, yeah, I spoke to you, and you were actually with it still. So in your defence, mate, I think I spoke to you the next morning. So
mate, I was still pissed the next morning when I got up at about 10 o'clock. It took me till about 2 o'clock before I sobered up. I mean, I'm not even the heaviest drinker, but when I do have a good drink. I mean, a bottle of Southern Comfort, half a bottle of Jack D honey, and half a bottle of Di Serrano. I woke up the next morning, and it weren't just a light head or headache. I was still actually drunk. Went to let the dog out and that, wandering around the garden, pissed up, smoking a fag at 10 o'clock in the morning. Right. That's Sava's fault. I blame Sava on that there, and Ellie and Marks and Dan List and Nigel, everyone else who were Ben and all that were there. I blame everyone else there for that one. It was a good barbecue, no two ways about it. But yeah, I'm actually quite lucky I remember it. I mean, I remember Tupac. I nearly fell flat on my face twice and Ellie caught me. Thank God for that. Either way, good piss up. Back to the Spurs thing. Go on. So
no, stick with a piss up. It's more fucking interesting, mate. By all means.
Oh, tell me about it. Isn't it just? But do you think this Morgan Gibbs-White one is going to go through? That's the last I'll ask on it, basically. And then I just, like I say, get it out. Get it out. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
look, we know certain things. We know there's been a medical done. We
So
know
they
that
say.
much. Also, well, I think it might be a bit more than that, but apparently the medical's been done. Look, will it get done at this point? I don't know. Look, from what I'm seeing now with the whole Nottingham Forest like fan channels and all that, apparently Marinakis doesn't want to sell to Tottenham at all. Like he's kind of blacklisted us a little bit.
Oh,
So
but if it's a buyout clause, he ain't got a say in the
you,
matter.
you can't say shit. This is the thing. But I honestly don't know. I mean, realistically, if you look at the situation as a whole, I don't think Tottenham as the club have done too much wrong. I mean, if anyone's in the wrong, it's going to be the agent. So in terms of all this legal nonsense,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really see how far it can go. So whether or not we get Morgan Gibbs White, I don't know. And like a lot of us at the precise moment in time, I really don't care, mate. But we'll see.
It has got to that point, and
Boring. Snooze fest.
like Ringing It TV has just asked here, like basically what already said. Like I say, I'm already 10 minutes behind the chat. It's impossible to keep up with it. And just saying, like, Dan, do you think Morgan Gibbs White sort of stalled our entire transfer window? And do you think this bullshit would happen anyway? I think it will happen and go through. I just can't see how it would have stalled our whole transfer window. We could still be getting players out. We could still be looking at other players coming in and everything. Surely you got a plan B to things. And I just see that it's knowing Spurs, we are probably the only club out there that has probably stalled our entire transfer window. That wouldn't surprise me either. I just can't see how that thing just not going through is going to stall the whole thing and stop the whole bloody thing happening. But if anyone that can happen with it is Spurs, isn't it?
Danny, can I ask you one? I've never actually asked you this, and I don't think anyone else has. Do you think, well, number one, do you want Gibbs White? And number two, do you think we need him? I don't think I've heard your opinion on it.
Morgan Gibbs White is one who I think I would definitely be quite happy to get. I mean, he's a good player. I think we play him as an 8 behind Maddison. And I think he's better than anyone else we got in that position, unless you want to play him as a defensive box-to-box, and that's not how he is. Play him as an attacking box-to-box and play him alongside going up behind Maddison and that. I think that could work out brilliant. And do I think we need him? Yeah, he's significantly better than what we've got there. So that would be 2 players we brought in who are more than good enough to walk into that first team. So for me, and plus he's English and everything else that comes with it, it kills a few birds in one stone as such.
There is game time.
It's a very good idea.
There's game time as well. He's played at least 1,000 extra minutes in the last 2 seasons that Maddison has, which I think is quite significant.
And that is one of the things that does let Maddison down, isn't it? But last season, I don't think it was just down to Maddison's injuries. A lot of it was also down to the fact that him and Ange, I just don't think they seem to like each other too much.
You don't
there was many a time, yeah, I think Maddison might have been the ones who confronted him about a few things. And there was definitely something there between them two, and not in a good way. There was definitely something where them two just did not seem to click, I personally think. And I think there was many a time he could have actually played, and there was times we could have played him, and Ange just didn't do it. And he took him off the pitch several times as well when we needed someone to create a bloody goal, and he took our playmaker off the pitch. So it's not going back to the Ange thing, it's just going back. I think he was more than capable of seeing more time last season. Really, there was many a time where he came off where he did not have to come off.
It does beg the question a little bit, doesn't it? I think there were definitely times during the season it did seem a little bit fishy, a little bit suspect as to why he wasn't playing.
I mean, whatever happened, I can't say I know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe something happened with Maddison and something to do with someone very close to Ange. Who knows? But there was definitely a bit of bitchiness between them. And right, let's get off that one because I've just had enough of talking about Morgan Gibbs White. I think it'll go through, but it is really starting to piss me off now. Son, here is the other one that has come out last night from what I've seen of. America, MLS, Los Angeles, interested in him. A lot of people still saying Son is good enough. A lot of people saying that we should keep him and he's a good captain and this and that and everything. I mean, I've got my opinion to it, but come with that in a minute. I mean, what do you think on the Son saga and everything and that? Do we keep him? Do we sell him? Do you think it's better for him that he goes, better for his career and whatever? What's your whole thing on the Son issue and everything? And going to America as well.
That's weird. Right, okay, so to start off with Son, right? Everyone knows I love Son. He means as much to me, if not more, as Harry Kane. But let's be realistic about the subject. He has not been good enough for 2 seasons now. At least 2 seasons. He's not been good enough, and I'm gonna go with you on this. Look, if someone is not doing their job properly, it's time to go. And I hate to say that because of how much I love Son, and you know my opinion on him. You know I think he's been world class in the past. I watched him in that friendly, and I know he's rusty. I get that. I get he's not played a lot of football because of that little bit of injury that he had, but he didn't look any different. It was, if anything, he was even worse. It was a hard watch, to be fair, but no, he definitely needs to go, and he needs to go with his head held high. At the end of the day, you've just won a trophy. We saw your armpits, those wonderful South Korean armpits. We saw them, and that's all we really wanted. And he needs to leave on that note. In terms of going to America, now this is the thing. So I did a little bit of research on the subject. Now, LAFC, their highest ever, their record-breaking transfer was of 10 million. Now, that's all in. So that's the highest they've ever paid for anyone. I do not see Levy going, okay, I tell you what, have him for 10, 20 million. It's not going to happen. Unless they go around it other ways, some rights or this or that, I don't know, of sort of striking a deal. I'm not sure how they could do it. But in terms of money, which we all know Levy likes, I can't see LAFC even stumping up the cash to pay for him. I mean, realistically, what do you think he's going to cost? Because he's still got to be worth 20, 30, surely. And then you're thinking about the money he's bringing in with that, by the way.
That is what I think is more of why Son would still cost a bit of money, because I don't think he's that much of a great player anymore, especially from what I've seen. He's definitely on the way down. Where he's a player that relies on his pace so much, or has done, you find the players that rely on their pace, in my opinion, their career ends significantly quicker and sharper as such than a player who doesn't rely on his pace. So take 2 strikers out there. Put Son as a striker for the moment and put him next to Harry Kane. Harry Kane's career will last significantly longer because Harry Kane does not rely on pace.
Yeah, he's built to last.
Look at someone like Teddy Sheringham. I mean, fucking hell, I could walk faster than he could run. But excellent striker, didn't rely on pace, had to rely on basically how to play a game of chess, where to be, when to be, 2 moves ahead of everyone and that, because he didn't have the pace. And look how long he played for. I mean, he was in his 40s before he stopped playing.
He was in his 40s, yeah.
Yeah. Where someone like Son, they rely... Look at Michael Owen. Second he lost his legs, out the window. He wasn't half the player that he was before. And that is what happens, like with wingers a lot of the time and strikers. Ones who really, really rely on their pace, the second their pace is gone, I wouldn't say it's quite career over, but it's definitely on the way down from there. And I don't think Son has totally lost his legs, not at all. But you can see he's lost a yard or 2. And his stamina just doesn't look up for it anymore. And he actually seems quite injury prone as well now. Now, whoever takes him on, if they can keep him fit, I mean, going to a league like Serie A, I think would be a very good idea for him in the aspect of it's still one of the biggest leagues in the world, and it's a lot slower, a lot more tactical than the Premier League, but is significantly slower, and the pace he has got would be fast for that league as such. Whereas if you go and stick him in the Liga, no, that's probably the fastest one out there. And
he can't pass either, can he? And that's what that league is based around, really, isn't it?
And a lot of the time. And I think him going to America would be a very good idea for him. I mean, surely he can go to America and have a good time. And also there'll be other players out there that he knows, whatever else, and that, and there'll be plenty of money to bring in there. I think whoever buys him basically for, let's say he goes for 35 million, just a random number, they're going to make that money back in the day. That day, they will have their money back. It's like when Juventus went and bought Ronaldo, 70, 75 million or something they paid for him. They blatantly stated it, clear as day on a post. They made that money back within 12 hours. You know, and that was blatantly selling shirts and anything to
Yeah.
do with Ronaldo on Juventus. They made that money back and made a shitload out of him in the time. Now with Son, wherever Son goes, comes an entire country basically. So
Yeah,
they will make that money
essentially.
back on him easy. Well, there's no ifs or buts about it. It is what it is. That one, I think, basically the country comes with him, and all of a sudden they will have a shitload of Son supporters over there who follow him all over the world from South Korea, and he will make them their money back and then make them tenfold over as well.
It's a mass increase to revenue. Mass increase to revenue.
Exactly. As a
So,
business buyer, it's an excellent bit of business.
Player
And
wise, I'm not so
him,
sure.
yeah, but go and stick him somewhere like America, and that he will look like a superstar. I mean, it's not exactly.
I'm not convinced anymore, Dan. I've got to be honest, mate.
No, go stick him somewhere like America. He will look like a superstar still.
You think he still do a job?
Oh, I think in a league like the MLS or something like that, I think he was. Yeah, Luke was here as well. I think America could be a good idea for him, an all round. I mean, he's not my sort of captain material. People know that. People say off the pitch is he's been a brilliant captain. I never really looked at it like that of him until someone pointed it out to me. Look on both sides of the captain. There's on the pitch and there's off the pitch, and I didn't really look on it like that. On him like that. Basically, it was more of a. I just looked as the captain as a captain. Off the pitch, from what I hear and everything else, after I checked it up when someone told me to have a look at it, and that it looks like he's been brilliant. But on the pitch, he's just not my sort of man. I'd still rather have a Roy Keane there all day long. I'd still rather have a John Terry. I'd still rather have a Tony Adams. I'd still rather have Patrick Vieira or something like that. I would still rather have a captain that would get you up by the throat, slap you up the face, and say, "Pull your finger out your ass."
Yeah.
But then I do get times have changed as well. Maybe that's just me being a bit too violent, but I just don't like the idea of going up to a player and kissing him on the cheek, saying, "Come on, you can do better, and don't worry, Mum will do your dinner for you." It's just not the way I work personally, and that's the sort of captain he is. But this would be the ideal time for him to go as well, I think, because when you got mud on your back, mud sticks, and then the problem is with that. When you got the mud, it's very hard to get it off your back. And with that one, it's now that we've won that cup. I mean, people were already saying Son's been great for us, but we should have got rid of him basically like 2 years ago. I know it's still very half and half, but now he's won that cup, he could leave. And I don't think people had even mentioned that he should have gone 2 years ago. There'd be more. He left after he won a cup.
Yeah, you're fantasizing.
Get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I do. I mean, okay, let's just flip it around on itself. If he stayed, do you see anywhere for him this season? Do you see him doing a job for us at all this season?
If he stayed, I could see him being the sort of player that you could bring on with 20 minutes to go and might get a goal for you.
Okay.
And maybe the odd game here and there. And in that aspect, do I want a 200 grand a week player in that position? No, I don't. And yeah, this is Mark. I got the bloody marks wrong. Mark Swift. I got it wrong with this one earlier. That's just me seeing Mark and thinking of Mark. Maybe I just know too many bloody marks.
Yeah, too many marks.
And yes, there's the link for his show. He's doing a show at 4:30 today. His first one on his own, if I remember correctly. So people do make sure you go there and give that a watch and give it a like and give it a subscribe. You've got 2 quality marks there. And we had a good drink on the weekend as well. Just the fact I ended up more pissed up than them. Must admit, I was pretty shocked. So back to what you're saying with Son.
No, that was my question, mate. I wanted to know if you felt that, you know, there was a role for him to play this season personally. And again, you know, me and you have had arguments, we've had debates whether, you know, whether the guy's world class or how much he's done. Look, even I am at a point where 100% I wouldn't even keep him. He has to go. And please understand when I say that, you know, it's not said lightly because I absolutely adore the player. I love Son. I think he encapsulates what Tottenham is. But he's just not good enough anymore. I don't see anything that he does well anymore. Like, you know, and people say about his pace, fuck his pace for a minute. The boy's forgotten how to shoot. That's what
And that
bugs
was
me.
his strongest point, wasn't it? I mean, he was. For me, he was never a world-class player, but he was a world-class finisher. He didn't have enough for me for someone I would personally call world-class. But there wasn't many better out there who could finish better than him with both feet.
No.
He was just as capable on his left foot as he is his right foot of finishing. And
Wait a minute.
don't think
Unpopular opinion. Is Son a better finisher than Harry Kane, conversion rate-wise?
No.
Really?
No.
I don't know, mate.
Two different types there, I think. That's a good question, That's actually a pretty solid question. I mean, the thing I rate so much about Kane and why I'd have him off pretty much most strikers out there is because he can finish with his right, he can finish with his left, and he can head that ball. He can do it from all three ways. He can score short, he can score long. And the other thing I love about Kane is how he can pass the ball as well. I don't think he'll be another player that when it gets a bit too much for him as a striker, you'll be able to bring him back as a number 10. And he's able to be a playmaker. He's a fucking epic player.
He's built for longevity, 100%.
Exactly.
You saw that when he was young. So.
I'd say overall finishing, when you add everything up together, Kane is definitely the one who can put it away more.
Okay.
But the way Son was at one point, with the way he could do it just as good with his left foot as he could his right foot, there's not many who've got a 20-20 on both feet or a 20 on that one, 19 on that one. It's usually a 20 on that one and a 10 on that one or something like that. And there wasn't many on this planet who was just as capable with their left foot as they was their right foot, as far as I'm concerned there. And Son was one of them. And in that aspect, it's like someone just said near a second ago, like basically let him go as the hero.
Yeah.
Like what DW just said here, Son, sell now as a hero, as a legend. Or do we go and keep him for another season and then it doesn't work for that season? And then it's like, he did win the cup with us, we should have sold him. I don't want that bit added on the back of it. So I think he should personally let the man go. Even if he doesn't want to go, sort of thing, he's got to go. We've got to move forward.
Yes, we do.
Stop being so sentimental and loving and whatever. And like the saying, I say that others don't like it's a dog world. You want to get to the top up there? Well done, fella. You've done an excellent job for us for the past 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, however long you're doing a job. But you ain't good enough for the job that we need you to do anymore. We need to bring out the younger fella to start doing the job.
And will it tarnish his image at the club, Because listen, let's be honest, real fans, we're all real fans, but like fans like ourselves have seen for the last 2 years that he's dropped and we've, our opinions changed quite a lot. But if he stays for another season, surely that will severely tarnish his image at the club, right? Surely, despite the armpits.
If it doesn't go right, it will definitely do a significant amount of damage to it in my opinion. Now, if he was to stay and all of a sudden he goes and gets 15, 20 goals and has an epic season, then there's going to be people like me sitting here saying, do you know what? Fair play. But I just don't see that one happening. Whereas if he does stay and the season ain't great for him, people are going to sit here and say, we should have let him go. And that's what people are going to say. And that's going to be that mud that sticks on his back. So,
and it'd be sad to see as well because he's such a beloved figure at Tottenham. So really and truly, I think we're saying it as fans for his own sake as much as ours, because someone like that who's given so much to the club, you really want him, basked in glory. You want to always think back fondly. You don't want to think of a tired player who's just no longer to the standard that he used to be. You don't want to think back to him like that. I know it'd be romanticized and but one more season, I just think it'd be detrimental to his image. I really, really do. And we all love Son so much. I just think now is the time. I do not think it can even be in the thought process that he stays.
Yeah, I mean, like what Ange has just said here, I can understand why Son isn't looking happy listening to you lot. Poor Sonny has given us his heart and soul to Spurs and deserves nothing but love and respect. Football fans are so fickle. No, if I'm going to be honest, fella, I just think you need to look at reality here, yeah? And the reality is he ain't good enough anymore. So in that aspect, it's not that no one's not giving him love. It's not that no one's not respecting Son and saying he's been great for us and everything. But in my opinion, a lot of others, he's not good enough now. So what do you do then, fella, for your business? Yeah, you got a business. Let me just put this on you then, Mr. Angeball, and you come up with a reply after and that. Yeah, take football out the window. You're doing a business. You've employed the fella for, I don't know, 20 years, whatever. He's been doing an excellent job for you at your warehouse, whatever you're doing and that. But now he's got to the point where he's just too old. He can't lift the shit anymore. He can't move about. He can't get about quick enough anymore to move stuff around the warehouse and do this and this for you. What do? Do you keep him at the job and that can now affect your business out of just being morally correct, out of being sentimental and nice, and then it affects your own business? Or do you just do what you got to do and say, do you know what, fella, fair play, but I've got to let you go. You ain't quite good enough anymore. There's your extra bit of money for doing this a good job, and let it go. Yeah. So what do? It's a business at the end of the day. It's a sport. And if you want to be at the best, at the top, you can't be sentimental and just hang on to a player because he's been that great and love him and everything and that. At the end of the day, when you ain't good enough anymore, you ain't good enough anymore. So it's not no one showing him no respect or being fickle or anything like that. I just think a few people, fella, are just trying to be realistic here. No one's wishing any bad on him. No one's saying he's been terrible for us. Past two seasons, not great. But it is time for him to go, in my opinion. And you agree with that, yeah?
Yeah, I do 100. Listen, Ange, I'm going to tell you this much. We all know that I'm a bit of a soft spot. I'm a bit of a fucking sentimental type of fan myself. And even I agree with Dan. He has to go. You can't keep a player like that who's dwindled so very much. And the fact is, I'm saying it, and I'm sure Dan is too, for the sake of himself as well. You want to be remembered for all the good that you've done. Not you don't want to be that Klingon that's sort of aged and dropped in standards. You know, you want to go out with your head held high. And I just think now is the time to do it. So I do understand what he's saying, but you know, at the same time, you'd like Dan says, you do have to be realistic. He's just not good enough anymore. If I'm honest with you, right now at the club, I would say he's probably a third choice winger. Dan, do you agree with that? Because I mean,
I don't know. The thing is, I think they're all crap that we got on the left. So I think honestly, anyone could get in there, sort of.
No, of course. But look, you've got Kudus and you've got Johnson. Would you put Son ahead of Johnson or Kudus?
No, he's on the left.
Right now.
No, Kudus and Johnson are on the right. Son's on the left.
Oh yeah,
or you put him as the striker.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just mean wingers in general.
Wingers in general on the left. We've got Tell, Odebert, Solomon, Son. We don't exactly have a good choice there as such. No, but I just also think Son's also lost a bit of his stamina in that as well. I just don't think he's up for the Premier League anymore. No. And I think the smartest thing for him, for us and everything is to say, thank you very much. Love you lots. You've done a brilliant job. Go and enjoy the rest of your career, basically. And again, like you say there, show Sonny the love he deserves. Yeah, we do.
We do.
But if he decides to leave, then fine. But stop trying to help him on his way to the door. Well, no, sorry. If you're not good enough, I will walk you to that door.
We ain't going to listen to people like us, is he?
Exactly. But as a manager or as an owner of a club, I will walk into that door and say, sorry, you ain't playing anymore. What did Chelsea do? What did Man U always do? You know, what have Real Madrid always done? Barcelona, Bayern Munich, all the big teams out there, Man City. The second they don't see that they're good enough, they walk them to the door, whether the player wants out or not. Yeah. If Ange, mate, fair enough, I get your point. But if you want to sit here and just be this sentimental old fella that sits there and loves everything and nothing can go and you want to keep it in your handbag, then fine, fair enough. But then your handbag's going to get full up and you ain't going to have some very good stuff in there anymore. It's all going to be battered and bruised and knackered. So I suppose it just looks like we got a different way of doing things. But if we have to walk into the door, then so be it. But I'll leave it at that. I think we both agree that Son is at that stage now where it's time to get on with it, basically, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, there's been a couple of other bits of news. I mean, I'm going to bring up this one. It's just comical. When I heard it the other day, I just thought, seriously, was someone on a bit of gear when they brought this up? Rodrigo.
He's ours.
I mean, he's ours. Honestly... What is your opinion on that, mate? What the hell is that one all about? Who actually managed to come up with that?
Right, so apparently the fella who first posted it has 200,000 followers. So it was taken semi-seriously by some. I think even the notion of it, you've got to be pissing in the wind. Look, the only possible way I see that happening And I can't remember what it was like at the time, but maybe a Van der Vaart type thing where people perhaps didn't come in with the correct amount of money, and towards the end of the transfer market, maybe something happens like a Van der Vaart type situation. I don't know. But in terms of people that are looking at the guy, you've got, let's have a look here. You've got Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal have kept tabs on him. You got no hope. Like I said earlier, you are pissing in the wind if you think we're going to get him. It's just not realistic, is it really? So move on.
I mean, especially when now I'm one that says put your money on the table sometimes and deals can get done. Stop messing about with things and deals can get done. Also, in that aspect, it's yeah, do you know what? Maybe sometimes go for that player who you might consider a bit too big for your club. Give it a go. Okay, you get turned down for it, you carry on with the next one, yeah? I mean, we don't know what goes on in the background, but when he's got Arsenal after him, Bayern Munich after him, Liverpool are looking at him, and other clubs looking at him, it honestly doesn't look like we have much of a chance of getting that one, does it?
Not particularly. I mean, do you know what I was looking up earlier? His output, I'm sure it's not amazing.
Fair enough.
Look, yeah.
I mean, with Ange here quickly, I'll just go, if you look at what you're putting there, I don't believe that, Dan. Football is my life, mate, and he's still better than what we have, bro. You know what? If that's your opinion, fella, fair enough. Go for gold, yeah? I mean, we're all entitled to our opinions at the end of the day. Mine is I don't think he's good enough. You think he is. I suppose if we keep him, next season we can have a talk about it at the end of the season. But if that's your opinion, mate, you're entitled to it, so fair enough. Go on with what you were saying, Ben. Sorry.
No, with Rodrigo, I was just looking at some of his output stats. So he played 30 matches last year, 6 goals, 5 assists. Let's have a look here. UEFA Champions League, that wasn't too bad. 12, 5 and 2. What do I want for him? 100 million? 100 million for him? Listen, I know he's a fantastic dribbler. He's a problem, isn't he? But
I didn't even check it out, like price or nothing like that. I just saw that come up and just started laughing. Unfortunately, I'll smoke another one and go to bed.
But just quickly, going back to that Ange ball, I will just say this. The only thing I'd want to say to you really is don't say that we don't give him love, because the amount of love Son gets, especially, I absolutely adore the fella, but you can't say he doesn't get shown love. But anyway, we move on.
I mean, I do agree with this bit. Like we just don't seem to get the replacements for it. But either way, off the sun bit, what you were saying with that Rodrigo.
Yeah,
I mean,
so Rodrigo. So they want 90 to 100 mil. Yeah, and his output this season. Bear in mind, you've got to take into consideration he's playing for the best team on the, well, I suppose after Champions League, perhaps not, but he's playing for one of the best, if not the best team on the planet. And for 30 games, 6
I wouldn't
goals
say
and
that.
5 assists.
I'd say he's playing for the biggest team in the world is the best way to put it at the moment. It's either Real Madrid or Man U or Barcelona. They're the 3 biggest teams on the planet.
Yeah.
So he's playing at one of the biggest clubs on the planet at the moment.
Well, look, at the end of the day, in La Liga, you've got sort of 2 or 3 big teams, really, don't you? I think the level after that drops off quite a lot. So you would expect playing for a team like Madrid to absolutely smash it. Now, I do not know how many of these are substitute appearances. I'm pretty sure a lot of them were full games. But, for 100 million, do you really want to be getting someone that's played 30 and scored 6 and assisted 5? Does that not seem a little bit too much for you? I mean, look, I know he's a great player, but that's a little bit steep, isn't it?
I mean, 100 million, I wouldn't touch him with a barge pole.
Yeah, see, Ange Ball, he's got it.
Yeah, overpriced. Lookman, yeah, I can go with that. I mean, don't get me wrong, Rodrigo, I think he's a great player, and that wouldn't say no to him, but 100 million. Now, I think this is one thing we are all guilty of at Spurs, yeah, and us more than a lot of others, basically, in the aspect of, oh yeah, but he costs this much and whatever, and don't want to spend. Well, it ain't our money, so what do we give a shit? Yeah. The point I'll make on that, it's like the one going on with who's the one for Palace we want?
Wharton, Adam Wharton.
Wharton. It's like going for that, and it says we're meant to be looking at him, and they want 100 million. Oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
I wouldn't personally. Don't get me wrong. He's got all the potential and looks great, but he ain't no Declan Rice. Yeah, he ain't up at that standards. Not at all. Not yet. And he's got a lot of potential, this and that. But with that 100 million, just on a personal opinion, I personally feel you could go out and get 2 players of the same quality, if not better, for 50 million apiece. But then if you are getting a player that you know is going to perform, where you're 90% sure of it, that you know is going to get his shit done, that you know is worth every bit of that money, then obviously you spend that money on it. But Rodrigo, for me, is not £100 million player and noise Wharton. I mean, Wharton might be £100 million player to Palace, but to me, I personally think we could go out and get 2 players for that 100 million and improve the entire squad.
You know, it's funny. I think the problem with that situation is
Adam Wharton is another one they're saying that we're interested in as well. So let's go with that one as well, seeing as we're talking about both of them.
But the thing is, I think with Adam Wharton, the biggest thing for me right now is that Adam Wharton fixes a lot of our fucking problems. I mean, we do not have. He really does, mate. Okay, right. So
go on.
We need a defensive deep line playmaker, and that's exactly what he is. I mean, again,
we've got one of them. We just don't use him as it.
Oh,
Bentancur.
Oh, fuck off. No. Sorry, Dan. That's bollocks, mate. No.
Did you ever watch Italian football?
Well,
where did he play? Where did he play at Juventus?
I don't give a shit about Juventus, mate, because I have not seen it at Tottenham. He played CDM at Juventus. I know.
And he played as a deep line playmaker. That's what he was. He's just not an out and out defensive midfielder. But we don't play with that anyway. We need an out and out DM now.
We are deep quite a lot of the time. You know, if we're going to play the way Frank likes to play, you know, there will be.
That's the other side of. Go on. Sorry. Go on.
No. Go on.
That's the other side of it as well. I don't even think a lot of us know how we are actually going to play.
Yeah.
I mean, we need a few more friendlies to get an idea. But I agree with what you're saying. I mean, Bentancur, he ain't no DM, but he's a deep line playmaker. That is how he always
I don't
played.
see his passing range, Dan. That's my problem with Bentancur.
He was always one that used to get the ball and then pass it direct but short sort of thing. And he was actually very good at it at Juventus. And when he first came to Spurs, he was actually pretty good at it.
But he wasn't even their number one choice. He wasn't even their number one choice at Juventus. How good really was he?
Yeah, he was. He was for quite a while. Mate, he played there for nearly 4 years. And look at the amount of games he played. He played plenty of games. Seriously, check up his details. He played a hell of a lot. He played a hell of a lot of games. I mean, he played alongside the fella they got from Arsenal as well. I'm trying to remember his bloody name now, who went there on the freebie as well. But in that aspect, no, we haven't got a quality player who can do that. I agree with that.
No, that's what I'm saying. So we're lacking a deep line playmaker, someone who can really ping those diagonal balls or whatever it may be. I mean, Wharton seems, from what I've seen of him this year, fantastic at doing that.
Yeah, but is it a deep line playmaker we need, or is it a defensive midfielder we need?
He kind of covers. Jobs. Well, yeah, but he kind of covers a bit of. Oh, is he an out and out midfield destroyer? No. But is he? I mean, again, he's very young as well. Is he capable of becoming such? Very possibly. But all I know is the passing ability he's got is something we don't have from deep. You know, he's so good at it, and you know we have discussed him before. I think the age thing, you know, we've sort of said before that maybe a bit more experience in that sort of role would be a better thing to bring in. You know, an actual number 6. But yeah, Wharton is a fantastic player. I just, like you said, I don't think he's worth anywhere near 100 million. Nowhere near, mate. I mean, for me, he's got to be sitting around the sort of 50, 60 mark, maybe. Do you agree with that, or do you think that's still too expensive?
Yeah, but they Palace ain't letting him go for that. that is just not going to happen. I mean, to Palace, he's worth 100 million, basically. You know, to Palace, he is worth that.
With Declan Rice.
And also, the other thing quickly, Palace aren't in a position, like most Premier League teams aren't in that position anymore, that they're in that situation that they have to sell.
No.
The Premier League brings in so much money now. Even our small teams make more money than some of the top teams in the other leagues.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, and Palace aren't in a position where they have to sell.
No, it's true, but I mean, look, like for instance, I know it's compared with the Declan Rice thing, but the thing is with Declan Rice, the difference there is consistency, and you know, Declan Declan was sort of tearing it up for a good sort of 3 or 4 years before, was really top of his game
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
good 3 or 4 years. And I think to command that sort of money, I feel like that's what you have to do. So the reason why they've priced him out of a move at 100 million is a little bit beyond me. What's he had at Palace? 2
Well,
years?
yeah, but maybe they just don't want to sell him because he's
Yeah.
obviously it would be a damage to the club, and then maybe they could improve in other ways. Maybe they could get, but they are not in a situation where they have to sell him. Whereas if you go back a few seasons back and everything and that, you could turn around and say certain teams had to sell players to keep going. Now, there's one or two teams that still have to do that to an extent, but Palace don't need to do that anymore. Where his contract, he's still got, I don't know how many years on his contract, but I know
It's gonna be a
3,
long
so
one.
it's probably about 4 years he's got on his contract. I might have that wrong, but it's a random 4 years on his contract. He's in no position where
I'm
they
gonna look
don't
that
have
up.
to get rid of him. They don't have to get rid of him. And personally, I think we could improve the team better than just getting him for 100 million. And Rodrigo, no, I don't think he's worth 100 million personally.
Oh, there you go.
And
Adam Wharton is under contract with Crystal Palace until 2029, having signed a new 5.5-year deal in February 2024.
so it is 4 years then, yeah. So they ain't in no position where they have to sell, and where his contract's that big as well, and that they can turn around and say we want $1 billion for him if they want, and that's that. I mean, I just don't think he would be the best one to get. If we're going to go and spend 100 million, then go and get a big player for 100 million if you can do it.
I wish we could find out. Like, I'd like to test their resolve a little bit with him, though. I wonder if we did go in there with a flat 60 million bid. I wonder if that would
no,
switch
60
a couple
million ain't
nerves.
doing it.
You
Make it about 80 million, and you might get someone turn their head a little bit. 60 million ain't even going to make them twitch.
Really, you don't think?
Really. 60 million ain't even going to make them twitch.
Now, quick question. Was he, again, I've not done background on him. Is he an academy product or was he brought in?
I think they bought him, if I remember right.
Okay, fair enough. Won't bother checking.
I mean, me remembering history like that on players, I'm absolutely terrible, yeah. But as far as I remember, they actually bought him for pretty cheap, if I actually remember right.
It's going to be minimal, isn't it? Really and truly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably under 10. I would
we just hear what Rob's asking here. Believer at Brighton. That's it. He's another defensive midfielder. I don't think he'd be a bad idea. I mean, what do you reckon on that one?
I'm not a massive fan, if I'm brutally honest. I don't think he's that great, mate. I think he's got a few mistakes in him as well.
Yeah, he's another young player, isn't he? What is he? 22, something like that. 21, 22.
Yeah. And you know what Brighton are like? Brighton don't fuck around when it comes to demanding money for players. I think clubs like there are plenty of clubs out there that have realised that. Yeah, I'm not. What's this?
I'm just agreeing with what Ange says here.
Yeah,
Wharton, right. Another player that has been well overpriced and needs to at least another great season to justify that inflated price. Mate, I'm 100% with you on that one.
Yeah,
100% with you on that one. I do think he's overpriced, but like we said, Palace are in the position where they can do that. They don't have to sell. They don't want to sell. And he is a very good player. And it's not that I would not want him at Spurs. Yes, I would. He's better than what we've got. But I don't think he's £100 million player. But do you know what? If Spurs are willing to go out and spend 100 million on him, go get on with it. It's their money.
Hell yeah.
It's just an opinion that we have, and that I just don't think he's quite worth the 100 million. And I think we could do better with that 100 million personally overall. But if Spurs are willing to go out and spend 100 million on the fella, then go get it done. I mean, some people I've seen say, not many, but some have said that Morgan Gibbs-White ain't worth 60, 70 million sort of thing. I suppose it's each their own, whatever turns you on at the end of the day.
Remember, Brian's in the chat. Don't talk about. Be very careful about what you say, mate. He will. If you say his name, he will appear.
No, since I've known Brian, there is two people he has always spoke about very clearly and very heavily, and one was Thomas Frank, and the other one was Morgan Gibbs-White. As two people he has very, very always spoke about that he always wanted at Spurs, and that's why he was over the moon when it looked like we had him, and it isn't. But look, we're going back to Morgan Gibbs White thing. Get that the fuck out.
Yeah, please, no more.
Exactly
Safe.
that. And so on the Wharton side of it, I just personally don't see that happening. I do not say Tottenham going in and spending £100 million on a player like Wharton. I just don't see that happening. I mean, with like Wing It TV says here, with that 100 million, I mean, this was player I was going to come to next anyway, so it's convenient. You would go and get Paulina for 25, 30, then go get Robinson from Fulham as well, and Morgan Gibbs. What? That is exactly what I'm talking about. Now, that would be good business. So we're talking about a DM and everything and that, yeah?
Yeah.
Paulinho.
Okay.
He's for sale.
He is for sale. Do you know what?
And Bayern Munich have made it clear. There's meant to be about 4 or 5 other teams interested in him as well. Yeah. And I know he doesn't match the way Spurs seem to want to portray themselves or be at the moment in the aspect of we go for the younger players now and everything and that. But you want a good, solid DM in there. Okay, it ain't worked out too well for him at Bayern Munich and that, yeah. But in the Premier League, he was one of the most solid there can be. And again, in that sort of position, being 30, I don't think holds you back. Not the way he plays. And I think he would be the perfect player for us to go for. He's got the Premier League experience, plenty of experience in football. He's aggressive. He's good on the ball. He can pass the ball as well. I'm not saying he's world class at it, but he can pass that ball out as well. The thing I really like about Paulinho is he can read the game like a game of chess. And what I mean by that is he can be 2-3 moves ahead of himself. He ain't scared of getting stuck into a tackle. I don't think he's injury prone from what I remember. I just think he'd be an ideal player to go for. And at 25, 30 million in modern day prices, surely that is a steal. Okay, we're not going to get no money back on him, but I still think we'll get 3 years out of him easy.
Yeah, I mean, look, listen, to mimic what you said, I think Florian Plattenberg broke that story first. I mean, there's a couple of things with him that concerns me just a bit. So number one, there's not a great deal of interest around him. That always makes me question things. Again, like you say, he's 30 years of age. His price, from what I'm seeing, would be around 25 to 30 million. That's the figure apparently that would be enough to price him away from Bayern. Yeah, again, he's 30 years old. His wages might be a problem. I have no idea what he's currently on, but I'm pretty sure he's not going to be cheap wage-wise. You know,
I don't think it'd be too stupidly expensive, though, either. Like, on a personal opinion, I can't say. I don't know what his wages are at Bayern Munich, if I'm going to be honest, but I don't think it'd be stupidly expensive.
Well,
and I don't think it'd be anything we can't afford.
No, of course not. But I mean, again, you don't really know, do you? I mean, for the sake of playing football again, I'm sure he would drop it anyway, right? Because he doesn't seem to be one of those sorts of footballers that is more interested in the money. But yeah, like I say, as I was saying, look, he's 30 years old. His wages he may or may not be a problem. But he, like you said, he doesn't fit. Yeah, he doesn't fit our mold in terms of what we buy. I mean, 30 years of age, you know, Spurs sort of try to aim for around the 22 to sort of 25 mark, didn't they? Really, that's what we try to go after. I mean, look, with Paulinho, you are bringing in a plethora of you know, knowledge and experience in that specific role, because again, we haven't had. I mean, would you class him as a midfield breaker? Because I would. He's that guy that will sit in front of that back four and just mop up. That's what I think he's best at. And like you say, he can pass as well, which is a really nice thing to have. But yeah, it's a strange one, mate, because like I said a minute ago, there's not much interest around him. Like I've really looked into it, and I'm not seeing too many clubs that are really interested. Do you make anything of that at all? That more clubs aren't going for him?
I suppose it depends what each club needs at the end of the day, doesn't it?
Yeah, I suppose.
And I just think I just think he for us would be that perfect player that we need at the moment, personally. Yeah. I think he would patch that up easily for a good 3 years. And if Archie Gray is going to be our sort of defensive midfielder, which I just don't think he ever will be, but
why?
Wouldn't that be why? Because personally, as yet, I mean, if you look at him, he just don't look like a defensive midfielder sort of person to me. But then again, he is young and needs to improve as well. I mean, this is where I feel we should just put him out on loan. But if we was to hang on to him sort of thing and not put him on loan, wouldn't Paulinho be an ideal player to put him next to sort of learn off? Like people say players should do, stay at the club and learn off them or whatever. Whereas I personally think sometimes, a lot of the time, it's better to put them out on loan so they get... so they go and get like 30 games in a season, something like that. Because I feel you get much more experience being on the pitch than you do on the pitch, playing the odd game or two, basically. And yeah, then that's better than playing a couple of games. And okay, you've got an ideal man to learn off next to you. But I feel you can learn a lot more on the pitch than just with a game or two sitting next to a star player.
So you think baptism by fire, basically? You think you need to be in it to learn more?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, it's all good reading. It's all good reading something and passing a test by a book and everything. Now go out and actually do the job. Two different things. I mean, I know these days in life you need a bloody certificate to fucking roll a fag, let alone do anything else in that. Yeah, but my point is, you go and then get that plumber around your house who's allowed to do his job because he's got the certificate and that, and hasn't actually physically done it and fucks the whole thing up. Or you go and get the 60-year-old fella that hasn't got the certificate to do it, but been doing it for 40
all
years.
His life. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and this is where experience comes into a lot of things. And this is where I can give Archie Gray that bit of leeway in the aspect of experience. He really doesn't have much. But when I have seen him play for what he's had to do, okay, he done all right, but I have seen nothing. Pardon me. I've seen absolutely nothing off of him that when he finally did get his centre mid position, that he looked like he had any sort of capability of doing it.
It's a hard thing to say though, considering where he's been playing for most of the season.
I know, but he's meant to be a centre mid, and if we go and get another player there, he's going to be about the 7th choice centre mid and whatever. So I would still just say put him on loan. But if we didn't put him on loan, Paulinho would be the perfect, would be an ideal man for him to stand next to and learn something off, wouldn't he?
Yeah. I think you're right. Look, again, I think
I agree with I agree with Destiny 5 here. Paulinho got 3 years in him, or at least a year on loan. Yeah, I still think he's one you could get him, and you could still get 3 years out of him easy. But I mean, do you think we'll actually go for him? I mean, the price is saying round about 25 to 30 million or whatever. Or I suppose that is an option. If no one is willing to buy him, they will be willing to let him go on loan because they do want to see the back of him. They've made that pretty clear. So if we don't go for the buy, we should at least go and get him on loan, shouldn't we?
Look, my only concern, I do have a concern with Paulinho. I mean, look, listen, we all know what he's capable of because we've seen it for a good few years in the Premier League. So that's huge. You know what you're getting, essentially. However, what does concern me with him is why hasn't it worked out for him at Bayern? Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't follow Bayern massively, so I'm not 100% what's gone on. Yeah, so I always question when players don't work out at big clubs because realistically, look, listen, Paulinho was a big fish in a small pond at Fulham, and we've all.
I can go with that. Yeah, no, I get that.
We've all seen that go wrong. You know, for years and years now, you see that go wrong. 192 grand a week. Thank you, Mr. Maddock. That's a lot of dough. Good lord. Yeah,
that works out at about 165 grand, I reckon. Give or take a 10. I reckon that works out about 160,000 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's not too bad, but yeah.
That.
No, yeah,
but
again, I don't give a shit if paying 500 grand. It ain't my money.
Song goes, there's your 200 plus grand wages. Bang, there you go. Job
done. For sure. But look, with Paulinho, like I said, the one thing that I always question is the whole big fish in a small pond. And why hasn't it worked out for him at Bayern Munich? What has gone wrong for him to just not get that amount of game time and for them to be quite happy to get rid? Because how long has he been there for? Two seasons?
Yeah,
that seems a little bit strange. I mean, I know they've got players like Kimmich. And
I was going to say.
Yeah, obviously it's going to be hard.
Exactly, yeah. And if a player turns round and he just couldn't quite get up to the standards of two players like that, I think you can be quite forgiving in the aspect of, oh, wait, he weren't good enough in Munich, so he ain't good enough for us. Yeah, bollocks. Who's he got to go against at Spurs? What? Basuma. Sarr. Oh, watch it. Archie Gray might come and nick his spot. I don't think so, yeah? When you got Kimmich sitting on your ass, basically, and that, you know you're second to him. Yeah?
So do you think... Do you think I got less? Do you think my concern is maybe not as valid then because of that fact? Because she's
Go
got
on, repeat
these
that.
right. So I was just concerned because obviously he's not playing there that often, and usually when a big fish goes to a when a player like him will go to a big club like Bayern, and it doesn't quite work out, you question why. But so what are you trying to say? Are you trying to say that you feel like because of the players he's got in front of him, perhaps we shouldn't be as worried about his
Definitely.
ability there? Okay, fair enough.
Definitely. Because I've already seen him perform year after year in the Premier League. And if I go for tactics, style, pace, aggression, I'd say the Bundesliga is actually the closest one to the Premier League.
Yeah,
Because the Bundesliga has a bit of everything in it. Same as why the Premier League is the best league in the world. It's got everything in it. Okay, if you want to go tactical wise, then Serie A walks over the Premier League. But then you look at everything else to it, the Premier League does it. If you just go by a bit of lightning skill and pace, then La Liga walks all over everything. But then it hasn't got the same aggression, this and that, and everything else, and that the Premier League's got. The Premier League's got a bit of everything. And he's done it there. It just didn't work out for him at Munich. And Munich is one of the biggest teams on this planet with some of the best players on the planet. Yeah. And so you could understand that. And I think coming back to Spurs, who are we to actually sit there with the audacity and sit there? Well, we didn't do it at Munich, so he can't come to us. Oh, fuck off, mate. Like some of the things we got there, realistically, going to a team like Munich or going to a team like Barcelona, Real Madrid, PSG, Man City, Liverpool, and it don't quite work for you there. Okay, maybe you're just not a world-class player or like a megastar player in that, but who is at Spurs?
Yeah, that's a sore subject. I don't actually think we've got any world-class players left at Spurs.
No, we haven't.
It's very, very sad because we've always kind of had one or two knocking about. And
so so what do you reckon we should do with Paulinho? Go for him for the buy or go for him for the loan? And what do you reckon will happen?
Well, see, at his age, I don't think a loan would be the best thing to do because I feel like a player like that needs to be shown faith. And by faith, I mean, purchasing him outright to say, hey, look, you're our man. You're who we want. We're bringing you into the club on a permanent basis because you have the attributes that we need. Whereas a loan, I mean, it's kind of try before you buy kind of thing, isn't it? Does a loan show as much faith in someone? And in turn, will that get as much out of a player? So I think at the age he is, I think it would be better off, for him and us really to buy him outright. And again, 25-30 million ain't a lot of money, if that's correct. But yeah, it would be a decent deal. Yeah. So to answer your question, I would have said maybe a buy rather than a loan. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I mean, I'd rather go for the buy personally because I still reckon we get 3 years out of him at least.
Yeah.
Because his position doesn't rely on total hardcore pace. Yeah, I reckon I'd go for the buy for 25 mil, but I don't see Spurs doing that because of who and what we go for. So go for the bloody loan then. I mean, then there is that other option out there that people talk about as well, Douglas Luiz. I mean, what's happening with him at the moment? I know you've done a bit of checking up on him.
Yes, I did. So that one is a bit more of a tricky deal. So from what I understand, you've got Everton, West Ham, Man United all interested in him. Whereas again, with Paulinho, there's not so much interest. You've also got Man City weighing up a loan bid for him. Now, the only thing that concerns me with him at the moment is his discipline. So apparently recently he's not turned up to training and is facing discipline from the club. And again, I've been told, I've read that he's done this on more than one occasion. He's either not turned up or he's been really late. That worries me a little bit with Douglas Luiz. I mean, look, listen, he's a fantastic player. We know what he's capable of. But again, he's another one that hasn't quite worked out over in Juventus. And again, that does worry me a little bit. But I think getting him would be harder than Paulinho, purely based on the amount of teams that are interested in him. And I'm not sure whether it would be an out-and-out buy or a loan deal for him, maybe. But yeah, there's a lot of competition for him. So I'm actually thinking it'd be a much harder deal to get wrapped up. My question is, how old is he? That's the one thing I didn't look at. Is he 27?
I think so, 28, something like that, give or take a year.
What's your opinion on the guy?
I don't think he's great, if I'm going to be honest. But again, it's another one. I think he's better than what we got.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily that massive step up from what we've got as such.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
But I do think he'd be, again, this comes down to how we're going to play. What is Thomas Frank actually going to want to do, basically, overall? How important is an out-and-out DM going to actually be? Depending what formation you use, a DM isn't always the most important, but I don't see him using 3 at the back. So we're definitely, I still say we need that boss midfielder there as such, who's not necessarily going to play as a out-and-out DM role, but sort of cover that with a box-to-box as a deep lying box-to-box as such.
Yeah.
When you got the other man on the side being more of an attacking box-to-box, and that would be Morgan Gibbs-White. I mean, I wouldn't argue with Morgan Gibbs-White and Paulinho next to each other in the middle. That would already be leaps and bounds over what we got.
Yeah, it would. I mean, I'll say this much. I'm going to disagree with you just a little bit here, mate. I feel like a midfield destroyer, a deep number 6, I feel like is vital to any team, because at no point will that type of player not be useful. You know, especially say if you're trying to hold on to a 1-0 lead or whatever it may be. Say you're coming up against a better class of opponent and you want to play a little bit more sort of, you know, further back. I think a player, any sort of big number 6 that is a midfield destroyer, I feel like is vital to any team. So I'm going to disagree a little bit.
I do agree. It is, to me, it's a big part of the team, but it does depend on the formation as such.
Yeah, I get that.
Half the time when you play 3 at the back, the middleman does one of 2 things of them. He either comes back as a bit more of a sweeper at times, or he actually comes forward and does that DM roll down again when he has to, and still leaves the 2 at the back to come back to make it 3 at the back as such. And it does depend on the formation, but these days a lot of it, the way I see it, is played in the middle as 2 of them there as a box-to-box. And this is the mistake we make with Basuma. We play him as a box-to-box, but a defensive box-to-box, the one that comes back more and presses forward. Whereas you get the other one who comes back that little bit, but presses forward significantly more as the more attacking box-to-box. You do have 2 different types of it. And that's the mistake we make with Basuma. He is not defensive in any means or fucking manner. But then
I hate to tell you this.
I've
got to tell you this very quickly, because I know you can't stand it. So I'm going to tell you. That's exactly how Thomas Frank used him the other day in a friendly. He was sat way deeper. So either we're idiots.
I didn't see it. I was out there having a drink. A lot of others were in there watching it. I was just too busy out there having a drink and having a laugh. I couldn't be bothered to watch Spurs to bring my day down.
Listen, mate, be grateful you didn't. It was fucking awful. But look, listen. Either we're idiots or these world-class managers don't know how to use Basuma, because, so help me God, Frank was using him as a deeper CDM style. And I'm so with you on the way he gets used. It's wrong. He is almost... He's a number 8. I feel like he's better going forward than he is defensively, and I cannot see how our managers don't seem to see that with him. I mean, at Brighton, he was fantastic at being that number 8. You know, the box to box or number 8. He was forward back, but
I mean, his mental capability ain't his strongest bloody point. I mean, getting caught hanging out his window all geared up and everything didn't do him many favors. I mean, fucking hell, the fellow was dribbling, for God's sake. But his mentality is something that definitely holds him back. But I do still think he is a significantly better player than what he is, than what he has been. But I also think he's had three years now at Spurs to get his shit together, and he just ain't done it. And he's one that I'd quite happily see the back of. Dietrich, how we doing, fella?
Hello, mate.
Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Good,
well,
mate,
I wouldn't say good morning. It's bloody 3 o'clock here, but
For me, good morning.
Yeah, I know. For 10 o'clock, it's 10 o'clock on your side, isn't it?
Yeah, 10 o'clock, exactly.
Well, I mean, we've just gone over a subject here. I'm going to ask your opinion on it. So he's going back on it as such. Paulinho, what do we do with him? I mean, they're saying 25, 30 mil for a buy, or there's a loan out there. Should Spurs go for him?
Well, I always said you need Champions League experience, and Paulinho is going to bring that. He played Champions League with Sporting, and he's a destroyer as a number 6. And yeah, he's 30 years old. He's a bit old, but you need that kind of players. You need that kind of experience. You need someone that can just stay back and let the others do their job.
Mhm.
And Polina for me is a must. If we can get, let's say, Polina and I'm just giving an example, like Douglas Luiz, like that's the kind of things we need next season. You need cover. You need first team players. Or some games you might play Polina and Douglas Luiz. I just hope we can just buy the right players. I don't want no Archie Gray, 18 years old DM. I want a proven player for that position. Because you've played that position when you were young, you know it's a nonsense position. You should be able to do the dirty work in midfield. That's how I feel about Paulinho.
No, I get it. And do you think Spurs were actually going to bother with him, or do you think we'd go more for the loan thing or whatever? Because he don't suit what Spurs look for. And I'm not saying I agree with what Spurs look for. But
Honestly, for a loan, I wouldn't mind.
no, I wouldn't say no to either.
Me neither. I wouldn't say no for a loan, but if you can get him for a loan and let's say go spend the money on another midfielder, like I'm just using him as an example, like Baleba from Brighton, like that's smart business.
Someone mentioned him on here earlier as well.
Yeah,
No, I don't
that's
think he's a bad player, but I'd still rather go for Paulinho.
or the one that plays Onana that plays at Aston Villa. Like that's smart business.
What, Onana?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd never get him.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you go and put the cash down for like 65 million, like that's good business. I just
know
hope
what?
we, I just hope
Go
we
on,
can
mate.
do that. I just hope we can just do that, something like that. Like, sure, if you don't want to spend money on Polina, get him on a loan, and then go spend the cash on a proper DM.
I remember when Aston Villa went for Onana, yeah. I was doing a show and saying we should go for him, definitely. I think he's a very good player. And then Sava was actually the one who came on the show as well, if I remember right. Yeah, and totally agreed. And the amount of people that turned around and laughed and just say, you two just ain't got a clue, whatever else, or Nana ain't good enough for Spurs and whatever else. I'm just thinking, fucking hell, do some people even actually watch football? Or do some people actually even watch Spurs? I personally, I mean, I get each their own at the end of the day, whatever turns you on. Everyone's got a player they prefer and don't. But the amount of times we do look at players and the amount of times we get a significant amount of supporters turn around and tell us, oh, no, I don't think he's good enough for Spurs. Another one, and again, it was with Savard, and this was all about the Archie Gray thing of him costing 40 million. We went through about 4 or 5 players, maybe even, 5 players that we think Spurs could have easily got hold of. And people was even laughing when I said Locatelli.
Ah, okay.
That's a lot of the Spurs community in a lot of ways. Like people say, I mean, Locatelli would be a player I'd absolutely adore at Spurs. I think he's a great player personally. But for what we need, I think Paulinho would definitely be a better option than Locatelli, unless we got both of them and play them alongside each other. Then that would be a very good pairing in my idea. But I'm agreeing with what you're saying, Dietrich. I think we need that boss there, basically, when it comes to it. He doesn't necessarily have to play an out-and-out DM role, but play as a box-to-box, deep line box-to-box, isn't it?
Yeah, just
dominate it, basically.
Well, if let's say we get Morgan Gibbs-White, you don't technically need a box-to-box DM. You just need someone that can just do the dirty work. And Paulinho
like a Gallagher.
Exactly, and Paulinho is going to be the perfect player for that. And honestly, I'd rather have. Sure, it would be nice to have a deep line number 6, but I just want someone that can just like help the back line if we play a back 4.
I mean, that is the question I keep asking. Like I say, I didn't watch the friendly, so I only watched a couple of bits after, so I didn't get to see the whole game and that. So, did you watch that friendly?
Yeah, I did. I did watch it.
So, you two, start with you, Dietrich. Obviously, what happened with that friendly then? Like, give me some information then, because I was too busy on the party basically in that.
See, you would like to, honestly, I wish I was Sean. I can give you like a huge paragraph about how was the game, but it was the worst first half I've ever seen in my life. When I said that, I'm not lying. Second half was a lot. It was that bad. Like I almost fell asleep watching it. If I tell you like the issues I was watching with Ange with some of the players, I saw it in the first half. honestly, Brennan Johnson, as much as he was good last year. He scored many goals. He scored the Europa League in the Europa League final. He is
Sort of.
absolutely atrocious. He is atrocious in midfield.
He is. He is. I
And
don't rate him in any means or manner. Apart from he can score, he gets in a position, scores a tap in. Fair enough. That's no disrespect to how he scores. A goal's a goal. Gives a fuck at the end of the day. But I just do not rate him in any other way.
Me neither.
I'm so glad we got Kudus there. I actually heard Kudus actually had a good game.
Yeah.
Like a good half.
And I never want to hear anyone again, especially I'm talking about Ian, saying that Marky Moore should play in left wing. This guy's not ready. He's not ready to play in midfield. Not to play winger, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Or to play in the first team. Solanke, what more to say? Like, I don't think he's gonna be the answer. Like going forward, when you see Liverpool buying the French kid from Frankfurt, and now they're linked with Isaac, Arsenal buying Gokeres, Chelsea buying the Lab.
Yeah, who was it? Liverpool just got the one we was bothered about.
Ekitike, Hugo Ekitike, the Frenchman.
Yeah. 60 mil. They just went and snatched him straight up.
Yeah, and now they're linked with Isaac, so they might get two strikers. Chelsea just got the Lab and João Pedro. Like we're going down in the stepping order, and then the stepping order. Like if we continue with Solanke as the number 6, it's not gonna work out. If he was a backup, yeah, but honestly, the only positive for me was Danso and Udogi.
Yeah.
First half.
I mean, Dietrich, I'm totally with you, mate. That first half, I wanted to throw the fucking TV out the window. I was furious. But we do have to take into consideration here, fellas, and it was a real hard watch. But we've got to take into consideration that
it is only a friendly.
No, it's not even that, mate. Like players haven't played games for a couple months now. There is so much rust there. Solanke was shocking. I mean, I had a few good reviews about him that game. I have fucking no idea how. I thought it was terrible. But you do have to take into consideration that there is a lot of rust there. A lot of rust. It is just a friendly. But, these boys haven't played in months. So you've got to take that, under consideration, like I say. However,
playing against Reading, I don't think it's an excuse.
No, I hear you. And I've got a few friends that are Reading fans. And look, listen, Reading, to be fair to them, are on a bit of a bounce. They've just been out to start spending money again. I know they've been relegated to Div 1 now. Yep. But they are tipped to come up straight away. So here's hoping, fingers crossed for them. But look, regardless, it is just a friendly, and the players haven't played in months. And I do think that is a huge factor to everything. But the first half, was flattered to deceive. But the second half was significantly better, right, Dietrich?
Yeah, second half was a lot better, but I will never excuse, especially professionals like Solanke, Johnson, that have prem experience, and they can even control ball, like even shoot. Like, I will never excuse us, even work ethic. Like, sure, you can be rusty, but like, if you don't show passion, you don't show like you care track back. I'm not gonna respect someone like that.
But do you not feel bad for Solanke because he's having to play a position that he's not played before? He's striker now, I think.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for him. No, because for me, like, if your position is striker, you should be able to shoot. Every time he shoots, he looks like a Bambi on ice.
Yes, bad.
And that's one issue I have with him. And for second half, honestly, if I say that kudos, thank God we bought him. Thank God. Thank God. Everything I missed with the winger, he's the definition of what we need. A proper dribbler and he always keeps his head high and makes the easiest passes, but they're just lethal. You think they're easy, but they're like, it's because of him beating his man and having open space. Something that we haven't seen in such a long time.
Dan, you missed something that you would have really wanted to see. You should probably go. You've probably already seen it, but there was a moment.
Yeah.
I was just going to say with Kudus, there was a moment in the game, just past the halfway line. I think he took out three Reading players, if I'm not mistaken, when he burst up the line. We haven't seen that at Spurs for 5 years? Honestly.
I think since Gareth Bale.
Yeah, you might be right, actually.
I mean, you don't even really get to see that much in football anymore like that. And with that, I think it's also down to the point of this. This is where, for me, football has deteriorated in a big, massive way. Yeah, I mean, football for me is just nowhere near the excitement and the flair and the bottle that it used to be. And Kudus does come across like the player. You're going to see poor games out of him as well, but you know what? He'll take 2-3 men on at the same time, and he'll fail. But then he ain't scared of doing it again and again and again and again until he gets it right. And it's been a long time, like you said, and I think Gareth Bale was actually the last one since we actually had an out-and-out flair player that would do that.
Yeah, we had him and Lennon, didn't we? So Lennon was also like that with Spurs fast people. But yeah, do you know what, though? I'll say this much. This is going to sound crazy, but for me in that game, bollocks to Kudus. I've been following this next fella for, I don't know how long, last couple of years since we bought him. Luka Vuskovic. Holy shit.
That was the next one I was going to go on to.
I was going to say, forget the goal, forget the assist.
Mm-hmm.
That guy, and quote me on this, okay, in 1 year's time, if he continuously plays throughout the season, you know, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 games, I don't know. I'm telling you now, within a space of a year, he will be ready to, I'm not saying will, but could be ready to replace either Van der Ven or Romero. He is that good. This guy is going to be fucking world class. I'm telling you now, mate. I've watched his little career with great interest, and I'm fucking telling you now.
Like a lot of people did with Archie Gray.
No.
Oh, no.
I have the same resolve as Brian Daigle when it comes to Morgan Gibbs-White about Vuskovic. He is built like a linebacker. He's 18, 6'4". You know, he's got everything.
Mm-hmm.
He can pass. You know, he's a danger in the box defensively and offensively. The guy is, oh man, seriously. I don't know how long his contract is because we bought him 2 years ago when he was 16 from Hajduk Split. I do not know if I'm pronouncing that right. I butcher names like that. So I don't know how much longer his contract is, but I would tie that boy down.
He has 5 years. Because when you're 18, that's when your contract kicks in.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Wow, it's shocking. I didn't know that. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that boy, I'm telling you now, call me crazy, but quote me on it. 1 year, he will be good enough to replace Van der Ven or Romero. I'm not saying he should replace them. I'm just saying he'll be good enough.
Don't you think that's a bit of an exaggeration?
No, I don't.
I don't know. I'm asking. I haven't.
No.
I'll say one thing about Vuskovic. You see, when we bought him, like, I'm not the type of person that is going to jump in a train and say he's going to be world class and stuff. I don't know. We just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I said when we bought him, I even quoted on the chat. I said, "Watch for this kid," because I remember Man City were linked with him 24, like forever.
Yeah.
And when we bought him, I just felt like that's not normal. How did we get it done? Yes, he has all the qualities to be good, but let's see what happens because he has to be coached right.
Like Bergville.
Like Bergville, yeah. But one thing I'll say about him, he has every quality to be, let's say, like a better version, like let's say, like Vertonghen, for example. He has those qualities.
Okay.
But he needs his time and he needs to learn from like others.
Yeah.
And one thing that we're gonna really use for him, I see a Dan Burn in him, like especially like a threat in the box. If we play back three, so let's say you might play Van de Ven at left back, him and Romero at center back.
I mean, from what I've heard and from like when I've read a couple of things, whatever, and just looked at a couple of YouTube things like you do, I can't say I really know much about the player, and I didn't see him really play apart from kick a ball here and there. He's meant to be absolutely solid in the air as well.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, mate.
We've only got two defenders that actually. I mean, Danzo is good enough in the air, but I think the only player we've actually got that is absolutely solid in the air is Dragusin.
Yeah, I mean, a little fact actually on Vuskovic. I think up until about halfway or 3/4 of the season, he was one of the highest scoring 18-year-olds in the world. Not just defenders, 18-year-olds. So that goes for everybody. He again, I don't know where he finished in terms of centre back scoring, but I'm pretty sure for a majority of the season, he was the highest scoring centre back on the planet. That's got to tell you something. And forget the league he was playing in. Look, I know that, but regardless, it's men's football, and this lad is 18 years of age. 18.
But do you think this again? I mean, the reason I struggle with this sort of thing is when I look at it and I just think, are we doing it again in Spurs where we've just got the lad in here and we're already putting him too high up? I mean, there's nothing wrong with looking at someone and saying, do you know what? I think he's got a bit of potential, this one, but give it a bit of time. I noticed that whenever we seem to get that young player in there, it's like, he's going to be world class. He's quality. He's the next best one. I've heard it and seen it so many times.
Dan, you see the difference? Oh, sorry. Just quickly, the difference with Vuskovic. When people were praising Archie Gray, I've never felt it because every time I watched it, I'm like, this is not a man. This is a kid. When I see Vuskovic, even when he was 16, 17, and playing like, sure, it was Poland and Belgium, but he was thriving in those leagues against grown men. And every time, like, let's say, like, you know, like, I know we shouldn't care about that, but like the awards for like best youngsters, Vuckovic's name was always there. Archie Gray was never named one of those players. So I believe he has the qualities to be a top class defender. But I think for him, if people praise him, I get it. But for others, no, I don't get it. Him, I can like understand when people do it.
Okay. I mean, fair enough. I mean, when it comes to stuff like that, I mean, Dietrich, I must admit, you're one of the rawest ones out there, basically. So I must admit, and okay, I'm interested. I mean, how much game time, Ben, do you reckon he's actually going to get this season as well? I mean, if we actually look at it, I mean, Dragusin's still going to be out for a while. And Dragusin is another player that I personally think is significantly better than what we've seen from what I've seen of him in Italy. We just played him totally the wrong way again. I mean, for me, you can give me the best. I mean, one of my all-time favourite defenders, that hardly ever gets spoken about, but I thought he was fucking excellent as a defender, was Lilian Thuram,
Hardly gets spoken about. Lilian Thuram, guy's a god.
People hardly mention him. People hardly even mention him when you speak of some of the best defenders ever. For some reason, he really don't get mentioned from what I've noticed, And for me, I think he's one of the best defenders I've ever seen. But again, personal opinion, I mean, we can go through a whole list of them as such, because, But you could have even put him and Maldini next to each other with the way we played football, and they would have both looked pretty bang average or shit. No defender looks good when he has to sit on the halfway line. We don't have that problem now, And the only one who could even sort of cope with that was actually Van der Ven, and that was only because of his pace. And there's a chance that he's had half his career ruined because of it, because the way it's whipped his hamstrings to shit. But let's just hope not. And with the amount of injuries that them two do get, I mean, Romero, very well known for his injury issues as well. Does that mean, do you think Vuskovic is going to get some significant game time, or do you just think he's going to get the odd game here and there, odd 10 minutes here and there? Is he going to get a look at a Champions League game, or is he just going to come up against a team like, if we say, just randomly go and play Charlton in the whatever cup?
I mean, I've got no idea. It's you know, how long?
It's an opinion
kind of thing. No,
exactly.
I mean,
it's an opinion.
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea. I really pray that he doesn't go out on loan. Because he is good enough. He really is good enough. I mean, for me personally, I'd have him in. I'd be making sure he plays a good 5 to 10 Premier League games, and I'd try and get him in every single cup possible. Maybe not Champions League, because obviously that's a bit more sort of do or die. You need to make sure you go up in the Champions League. So, but no, look, listen, Vuskovic, he could go right to the very top. I actually think it's a bit of a shame that he scored and assisted, because then obviously everything's just boomed about him and people are jumping on the bandwagon.
As it does, and we are probably the worst team, for doing that with our young players.
I'm with you with the whole young players. Like, for instance, Mikey Moore, I don't see much there with Mikey Moore personally. You know, he's a very direct player, and I like that about him. But I think as a fan base, we big him up way too much. And you're right. You know, we've done it in the past with so many players. But I'm telling you now, mate, this Vuskovic, I mean, he reminds me, defensively, he reminds me of Vidic, So
Ooh.
and I know that's a big claim.
That's a claim. For me, another very underrated player, in my opinion.
Well, Vidic.
Yes.
Oh,
He's another one that when you start mentioning the best defenders and that, he doesn't get mentioned half as much as he should, in my opinion. I think he's one of the best defenders the Premier League has seen, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But again, everyone's got their opinions. I mean, so do you agree with what Paul Watkins says here? Like Romero and VDV are always injured, like I said. So Vuskovic will get game time plus cup games.
I mean, it's very possible. I mean, look, listen, Romero never gets injured. He just likes to play for Argentina. Okay, it's just his thing, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
Van der Ven. I mean, look, realistically, what you were right. The way we played last year was destroying Van der Ven.
It's either destroying or it did destroy. This season, we will find out.
Oh, mate. But, you know, we're going to be playing. I mean, look, in that friendly, you could see we're a bit more conservative. We were playing a bit deeper than what Ange was. You could see that straight away. The fact it was a terrible game is you know, neither here nor there. But, yeah, with the injuries to Romero and Van der Ven, I'm hoping that that might not occur this season because of the way we're going to play football. So, again, it's hard to debate whether or not he will get a lot of game time. But I pray he does. What worries me is that we stick him out on loan again because I think he could do a job.
Well, if what you are saying and what Dietrich is saying and what a few people on the chat are saying, why would they go and stick him out on loan when the other options put there with Dragusin injured, Romero getting injured a lot, Van der Ven getting injured all a lot? The main one we've got there who could play game in, game out, I personally think, is Danzo.
All day, yeah.
Our only other option there is what? Fucking Ben Davies, for God's sake. I mean, why we even kept that, I don't know. Even though I think he's a stable player, but that's about it.
Well, you mean you're talking about 7 out of 10 Ben, yeah? Leave him alone,
I think he's a stable player, but he should have been gone a long time ago, yeah? But so in that aspect, you would have thought that we hang on to him because if he's that good, obviously he's going to hold that position like before Archie Gray, basically. And for me, then that gives another reason why Gray should be out on loan. I mean, there's some players that when they're young and you see them play, you just blatantly see something there. Even if it's only for a game or 45 minutes, you see that they've got things. But okay, you need to see more and more and more to get a significant judgment on it. But sometimes you just see that a player's got something. Sometimes you see it and other people don't. That's the fun of football. All three of us can watch a game. I'll see something that you two don't see. But then you'll do the same with me and Dietrich. He'll do the same, whatever. And that's one of the loves of it. And sometimes you do just see in a player that he's got something. Like Bergvall, yeah? I'm not saying he's going to be world-class or nothing like that. But you can look at him and say, do you know what? Rough and ragged round the edges, definitely, yeah? But you can see that there's a footballer there, definitely. Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
And again, for me, then you look at someone like Archie Gray and I look at him and see, like, what the fuck am I meant to be looking at? Okay, he can play football. I'm not disputing that. But I don't see... I don't see nothing that makes me think, yeah, this man's going to be good.
I think you're too harsh on him. I'm going to be honest with you, mate.
I'm only going by what I've seen. I can only go by what I've personally seen. But that's what
he is correct.
But what have you seen?
Nothing.
You've seen him play out of position.
Yeah, and when I've seen him play in position, he was shit as well.
Yeah, but if you're playing like... How many games do you play in CDM? Twice? 3 times? All season?
But you see...
4 times?
If I'm not mistaken, I'm not good with names. Is it Ben? Up top, Ben?
Yeah.
Even when he played in the championship, he wasn't good enough to even play at DM. Even for under 23s or under 21s, whatever it is, he wasn't even starting for them. That shows you how bad he is. I'm sorry, like, I know people want to give him praise, want to give him time. The kid is not good enough. Like, it has to work out. He will never work out. And even when you look at him, you don't see a man. You don't see someone that's going to, like, put authority at DM. You just see someone that's just going to, like, play out of position and just be happy with it.
I mean, in due time, that can all change. I'm just talking about what I see at the moment. And, I mean, Dietrich, with what I said, you look at Bergvall, you've just got that pardon me, you can see that there's a player there. Rough and ragged round the edges for sure, like I said to Ben, but you can see there's a player there.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm only going by what you two and a lot of people have said. Without Vuskovic, I take it you look at him and you can see, yeah, definitely rough and ragged round the edges, but there's definitely a player there. And then you look at someone like Archie Gray and you think, well, okay, he can play football, but where is this player that is meant to be this good sort of thing? Is that where you're basically coming on with Vuskovic sort of thing?
Yeah, that's how I feel Vuskovic. I see, like, honestly, for me, I know we need to look at the stats, we need to look like at data, but sometimes you just look at a player and you just say, I get it. Even the same way I look at, for example, you see, like, when I was looking at, who was good that we bought young, Jet Spence, for example. A perfect example, Jet Spence. Everyone was called, like, saying he's not good enough, he's never gonna make it. But every time I saw him, I see the arrogance and I see someone that's gonna get better. He just need the right coaching, and when you give him an opportunity, he's gonna thrive to it. But when I see Archie Gray, I see others, no, it's not gonna work out.
Do you reckon like people overshout Mikey Moore too much already?
Honestly, even Mikey Moore, as much as I wish the kid is gonna work out, I don't see it either. I just see someone that's trying to do too much, trying to impress, but doesn't have the clinical slash physical traits. Yeah, physical and product. Like, he's trying to be Grealish, but he's not Grealish at all. That's what I'm seeing right now.
So do you think we're going to keep Vuskovic then, or do you think we're going to put him on loan again? Because like I said, if he's as good as people are saying and there's potential there in that, we've definitely got a very injured Dragoos in there who's still going to be injured for about another 6 months before he can get back to himself. I mean, he'll be playing before then, but it's going to take time to get back from that injury fully. It was a very serious injury he had, which can also fuck up his entire career, basically.
Dan, can I cut in real quick on Dragusin?
Go on.
Just ever so quickly. So that injury he had, from what I understand, so it was an ACL, yeah? Apparently it wasn't all the way fucked. Apparently they actually had to break it to mend it. Now with this guy, with Dragusin, he was walking unaided after 2 months, yeah? So no crutches, no nothing. And he was doing field work after 4 months. I cannot see Dragusin needing another. He's already, like I said, doing like full on field work. He's running. He's doing everything that he's supposed to be doing, well ahead of schedule. I can't see it being another 6 months before he plays again. Now I know Danny's talking right now. Yeah, no, you with me?
Yeah, sort of. Go through that again. Sorry, I just had to.
No, I was just saying
to the wife where I hit something.
No, you're right. So look, he was walking unaided 2 months. Yeah, 2 months after his injury. That's fucking that's incredible. And he was doing field work after 4 months. I cannot see it being another 6 months before that boy is back on field. Seriously.
Yeah, but it comes to a lot of things. Like when a serious injury like that happens, yeah, you might be walking and that, you might be lifting a little bit and that, but it does not mean you are ready and capable to play football yet.
He's doing running drills, mate, already.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, mate. There's something freakish about that boy, seriously.
Well, okay. Well, either way, yeah, you got Dragusin there, and like I said, Romero, Van der Ven with their injuries and everything, and we got Danzo there, and then the other option we got there. So in that aspect, you think Vuskovic is going to get some games?
Well, I mean, if we're playing two at the back, I suppose he'd have to be fourth choice currently. I really don't know, mate. Again, just being a huge fan of him and an admirer for the last couple of years, I hope he does. You can't say anything for sure, can you? But he's definitely, as it stands, he's going to be sort of fourth, maybe even fifth. He might even be behind Dragusin in rank size. Who knows? But yeah, in terms of how much he's going to play, I really don't know, mate. It's a hope, because I'm telling you now, that boy, and I'm not talking about the goals and assists. I'm talking about what I've watched of him for years. He will be world class. He just needs that time. So as much as he's going to get, who fucking knows?
I think that's a massive call to go and say that. And what I call world class to what others call world class are two different things. Again, different standards, levels that people see it different. I'm going to have to see some of the player and see him a bit consistently before I can make a judge of him. But a lot of people have actually said he looks like there is something there. I mean, like I said, like with Bergvall, you could see there's something there. The thing that
Yeah.
annoyed me most with Bergvall is you could see something there in a lot of things, but when it came to the final third, there was absolutely nothing there most of the time. You wouldn't get that final pass or that final shot or whatever. But that's where he's young and it's going to take a bit of time to get the stuff out of him. But you could already see there is a player there, basically. I mean, going to other players, I mean, one thing that's just come through on the news that I'm starting to see. I mean, Kulu Mwani, it's saying, like what I'm reading, that he's actually been offered to us for 43 million. I mean, I'm going to have to see that to believe that. But if that offer is there and it's there, what do we do? Or what should we do? Not what will we do, because we're Tottenham. But what do you think we do with that one if it is true? And I'm just looking at a couple of things here, and it's starting to come up quite a bit on news now and everything, and that he is actually being offered out.
Hold on, there's nothing being done permanently with Juventus, no?
I'm just seeing on here that it says PSG are offering him out.
I mean, look, personally, I'd snap your hand off for him. I feel a little bit bad for him because PSG bought him. Kolo Muani.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I feel a bit bad for Kolo because I feel like his career was stunted quite badly going to PSG, being behind Mbappe and all that. You know, he was absolutely tearing it up. What's that? Where did he come from originally? The German team. Was it Frankfurt? Frankfurt. Okay. He was tearing it up at Frankfurt. He mate, absolutely fantastic striker. But obviously going to PSG, it cut his game time a little bit, and I think it messed up his development too. Because if I'm not mistaken, he's what is he now? 26, something like that. I'm not sure, but yeah, he for me over Richarlison would be night and day. I would snap your hand off at 40 million for him over Richarlison. If you can, yeah. You can get Richarlison
me
out.
Dietrich's on that pitch over fucking Richarlison.
Well, that's a compliment.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Dietrich's?
Kolo Muani, okay, it might be controversial, but
As normal.
As normal, yes. Sure, he is good, but I have one issue with him. Really, one big issue. Consistency isn't there with him. He's the most inconsistent striker there is in the market. He's gonna get, like, when he starts, he's gonna start in fire, but then he's gonna slowly fade away. And for me, if you play that position, it's like the same way I criticized Son for so many years. I don't want to see a player for like 3 games scores like, let's say 6 goals, but then for like 12 games disappears. I want to see someone that scores like at least a goal every 2 games. I'm just saying, like, I'm just giving like something insane like that, like just a goal or an assist.
You want to see consistency there, not just flashes of quality.
Yes, I'd rather see a striker that scores a goal every 2 games than a striker that scores 2 goals every like 6 games. I don't want to see that. And to be honest with you, I think there are better options in the market than buying him for that price. And to be honest with you, he didn't want to join us first, so why should we go back?
You know what? You say that, yeah, I disagree with that. Yeah, I mean, just because a player turned us down before, I don't think that you then say, well, you ain't coming to us now, sort of thing. Because, I mean, if the player gets the option of Spurs, but then gets the option of Juventus or PSG, that's where we ain't a massive club. That's where we ain't one of the elite boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I wouldn't hold that against him personally in that. And he's one that I would not say no to. Definitely not. Not from what I've seen of him. But then there is that consistency side. But then you look at what we've already got. I mean, the other option out there that the arguments are saying is between, Visser and Newcastle are meant to be interested in him, but so are we, and he's meant to be one that people were looking at spending no more than 30 on him. I mean, if it's one or the other, what would you two go for? Go on, Dietrich.
Hold on, consistency, real quick. I mean, to be fair to Muani, he did get 8 goals in 16 games. That is one every other game.
Yes, but this is the issue with him. It's like 8 goals, but like other than that, what does he do in a game? It's always like if he doesn't score, like he's just not there with him. Sometimes it's like either he disappears on goals or he disappears on performance.
You see, with a striker, yeah, I feel on that whole pitch, you need 9 out of those 11 players to be on top form and to basically be on form for the game. There's 2 positions that don't, and that is a striker and a goalkeeper. They can sit there and do fuck all during that game.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it comes to that spot moment, that 1 second, 2 seconds, that is when they got to be there. The rest of the game, they can pretty much be irrelevant, because I personally wouldn't have my striker coming back to midfield or whatever else. My striker, I'd be telling him basically, you stay there. I don't care what happens up back there, unless it's a corner or something like that. You basically stay up front. But then that's just my personal opinion. And for me, a striker and a goalkeeper can just do absolutely nothing during the game, but they need to be there for that moment. But you need that whole rest of the team to be on the game for the game as such. You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
And so who would you go for out of them 2 then? Visser or Wane, like I said?
I would take Visser any day of the week. Consistent player, can play on the left, can play striker. The only issue we have with Visser is like there's going to be the African Cup of Nations in January, so December, January, so you won't see him for like a month. So that's an issue, but other than that, I think Visser is like criminally underrated.
Okay, fair enough.
I think he's had one good season. I think Visser is 29. Is he coming up to 29 or 30? I'm not too sure. Look,
coming up to 30, I think.
Okay,
no, coming up to 29.
29. Okay, all right, that's fine. Either way, don't matter. Look, at the end of the day, right, they're going to demand some sort of serious money for him. I'd imagine it'd probably be a little bit more than Colo, maybe. They're probably going to ask for about 50 odd million, something along them lines. Look, listen, he's 29 years of age, so already he's not really in the mold that we like to buy. With his style of play and the fact that he's only really and truly had one good season.
Actually,
honestly, really?
Last year he scored 12 goals, 3 assists on. To be honest with you, and playing with Mboma, I think it's good stats. Better than Solanke.
All right, well, no, that's fine then. I'm just saying, like, I think with his age and his style of play, because, we were saying about the whole pace thing as well. He's a fairly quick player. I don't know, man. Like, I think I would be leaning more towards Kolo Muani. I think he would. I think he'd give us a bit more longevity. And I really do think at the right club and treated the right way, I think you'd really get a very serious tune out of him. I can understand what Dietrich said when it comes to maybe a bit of inconsistency. But then, maybe that comes from, being at PSG, being second string. Bear in mind, before he turned up to PSG, he was unbelievable. And then you're going to a team where you're not number one. That's going to affect you in some way or another. And then going out on loan. So let's be honest here, a struggling Juventus. This is one of the worst Juventus teams we've seen in I don't know how many fucking years. But no, for me, it'd be Kolo Muani. I feel like Frank could get a tune out of him all day long.
But the money they're going to be asking for him, though.
Yeah, the same way I have criticism to Muani is the same way I criticize Ekitike. I personally believe Liverpool just got the pants pulled down. And if we go to Muani, I think it's going to be the same way, the same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, Ellie, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. I thought I'd join you, but I'm absolutely shattered. But my voice is going a little bit as well. But I wanted to join you so I could add a little bit on the striker situation.
Then go for gold.
Yeah. So basically, I reckon I agree with Dietrich that he is a bit inconsistent, but I also agree with Ben because he's been in and out of that team at PSG, and you can't always have the confidence to go in and do your stuff when you might play well and then you're dropped, and then Mbappe's number one, Neymar was number one before him, and he's probably got an inferiority complex as well. Yeah. Right, so he's gone to Juventus, who are struggling, and he's got 1 in every 2, which isn't a bad return, very good return. You expect your striker to get at least that. So, because he's younger than Vissa, but I like Vissa. I really do like Vissa. I just worry about his age because he's 29.
Yeah.
He's not finished yet. Just put it
And it's
that
not a
way. But I
Spurs
don't.
thing either, is it? Like with Paulinho, it's not a
No,
Spurs thing to do that, is it?
no, it's not a Spurs thing. So maybe our better choice would be. And look, he's going to have creators in our team, right? And we've got that new manager, we've got a new way of playing. He'll come in. Look what Thomas Frank done with Mbomo and Wissa. He improved them no end, and he's got a little. He likes a challenge, Frank, doesn't he? He loves a challenge where he can take a player and take him to a new height, and I think he can do that with Moani, right? And get him more involved because Dietrich was saying he scores a goal and he goes missing. Well, I don't think Frank will like that. He'll say, look, because look, Wissa, he gets involved, and Bono is a winger, so he has to get involved. But Wissa, he's always in and around the box, so he can teach him, right? He can teach him new ways of running into the box and creating more angles for himself to score. So I think Moani is the better bet because he's younger as well. We'll get more out of him, and I think Frank will see that as more of a challenge because he's already worked with Wissa. He's taken him to that level already. I don't think Wissa at his age would go up, maybe a little bit, but he's got most out of him. 7 goals, right, and then he got into 19 goals and I think 11 or 12 assists. So if he can do that with Moani, we've got a very good prospect there. Yeah, so that's my take on it.
So you think with the right amount of love and Frank as the manager, you really do think you could get something out of him that could even be borderline quite special?
Yeah, Ben, because I'm telling you, right, Frank, when he talks, people listen, and he's such an engaging man, right? And he's a fantastic coach first and foremost, right? But he's very good at communication. We've seen it not just from his first press conference at Spurs. I used to watch his press conferences all the time because I like the way he talks, right? And I think he can take a player like Moani and mould him, yeah? And then we've got the creators in our team. You've got Madders, you've got Kudos. If we get another winger on the other side as well to replace Sonny, we'll be cooking. And he'll have a plethora of chances to put away. Yeah, so I'm excited, but let's see if we can get one. Let's see if we can get it over the line because we're the big pretenders at Spurs, aren't we? We really are. We go for one, like I said in the chat a couple of days ago, buy one, get one free at Spurs. Right, and we've never pushed the boat out, so I'd like to get him over the line. And that left winger, we've got to get that left winger. If it's Grealish, I'd love it, but he's
I
not the
wouldn't say no
profile.
to Grealish, but then there's again a lot of people turn around and say that he's not good enough for Spurs.
Oh, he's definitely good enough. Come on.
I think he is as
Jack
well,
Grealish.
personally.
He's
Are we not
fantastic.
worried? Are we not worried
No.
he's been pepped a little bit? Do
I'll
not
tell
think
you
he's
why
been
I'm not.
pepped?
No, I'll tell you why I'm not worried, right? Because, all right, yeah, some people might say he's been pepped, but he's a very intelligent footballer. He's experienced. He's been there. He's done it. He's got the T-shirt, right? So, right, he's going to have a fresh challenge at our club. And what player doesn't want to come to Spurs, right, and have a fresh challenge with a new manager, a new setup, right? And he's not going to get much of a look in at Manchester City, really. He's going to be a bit part player again.
He's
Because
done
although
and
he
dusted
played,
at City.
yeah, he's not going to get a look in. Just put it that way, right? And he's, what is he, 29? 29, nearly coming up to 30, or he might even be 30.
I think
Right?
he's 30 now, Ellie.
Yeah, but I think that type of player, he's a ball carrier, right?
Yeah.
And Sada put it very well the other day. He gets you up the pitch and players can join. And that's what you need.
He's a good target man, isn't he?
Yeah, like, he can take the ball from before the halfway line. He can get it and he can bring it and then players join him, and then we can do some really good, nice football around the box and bang one in. Because under Postecoglou, right, we hardly made any shots outside the box. It was always the same goal, weren't it? More or less. Like we get down the byline, cross it, and Johnson would tap it in, or Solanke would get on the end of something. There was no real brilliant goals, and I'm one for brilliant goals. I love when they fly in the top bins.
Totally. I mean,
Yeah.
the question is, then, Ange, I must admit, we've had quite a 50-50 one here. I mean, half the stuff you said with, I do not agree with, but there's been half the stuff you said, I actually agree with what you're saying. On this one, I do not want Grealish at any costs. Give me some reasons. Give me some reasons why. I mean, we've all got, I mean, someone's just come up there, but give me some reasons why. Why is Grealish not good enough for Spurs? I mean, me personally, I think he's more than good enough for Spurs.
And we're all going to sit here quietly till you come up with it. All right, mate?
I mean, I'd love to know some honest reasons why he's not good enough. And don't tell me he's a pisshead, whatever else and that. Yeah, so what? He's gone out and got pissed a couple of times. Who wouldn't? And that you could just give me some solid reasons on why you think he's not good enough for Spurs, or why anyone on here wouldn't want Grealish at Spurs. Now, I'm not saying he's one that I'd necessarily want to buy. He's one I'd more quite happily take on loan for the season.
Yeah.
Whereas Paulinho, I'd quite happily snatch him up, because I personally believe you get 3 to 4 years out of him.
Definitely.
I mean,
definitely, because he's that type of player. He's strong, physically strong, Paulinho.
So, Dietrich, what would you think about getting Grealish?
I'm against it. I'm against getting Grealish. I don't know, okay, it might sound pretty bad what I'm about to say, but I hate like those party boys type of players like him, like the Rashfords, the Grealishes. I just don't like the Madison, like they just annoy me. Like honestly, if I was on the pitch, I would probably probably slap them in the face. I just like good work ethic players, and those type of players that just every time I see them, I just see someone that complains a lot, just drinks a lot, doesn't care. Just wants to get his pay grade and just like goes and has fun with his best friends in Dubai. I don't want to see those players in my club.
But as long as they perform on the pitch, I don't care whether he goes home and does bloody... No, but Dietrich, hang on a sec. Like, I mean, last season, no, he didn't really get that many games from what I saw in that year. But if I'm going to be totally honest, I don't give a fuck if my player goes home and does a line. As long as he comes back and bloody plays football on the pitch and does it properly, I couldn't give a shit what he does, basically.
Yeah.
I don't care whether on the pitch, as long as he's a player. When he's off the pitch, he can be a fucking unicorn or lamppost for like, yeah. When he comes on the pitch, as long as he plays football, I don't care. And I think Grealish is actually... I think he's quite a performer. I think he actually... I mean, was he a £100 million player? Not in my opinion, but I think he definitely was a major part of City doing that treble. But last season, yeah, he was dropped out of it a lot more.
Yeah, sure, he didn't play well last year. Yes, it wasn't his best season because of, what's his name, Pep. But at the end of the day, like, I don't feel bad with players. Like you say, it's a dog-eat-dog world. And I want to see it better. If you give me, I know a lot of people don't rate him, like let's say a Mitoma or a Rafael Leao. I'd rather spend the money on these guys instead of buying Grealish that's like on what, like almost 350 grand a week.
Oh, we wouldn't be getting him on that though. I reckon if we got him on loan, we'd be paying 200 and City pay the 150. Personal opinion.
No, City want to sell him. They don't want him to go on loan. They just want to get him off the books.
But if no one else is putting the money in, then it comes down to it. They haven't got much of an option. If they want to save money, then they loan him to us and they're paying 150 of his 350. They are still saving money. That's the way it has to be done sometimes.
Yes, true. But I just feel like it's time for we won the Europa League, we're in the Champions League. We got a new coach. We criticized Ange the whole last season. I think it's time to kick on and get better. Like build something new. Like with the. For example, you can buy Kudus, like go find a Kudus that can play on the left. I think it's time to go for those type of players, on the wing especially.
I mean, so you don't think Grealish should be good for the season as such? I mean, I personally wouldn't buy him, but I think for a season, I think it'd be a very, very good idea.
Honestly, the one it would have been a better idea, and you don't like him, would have been Rashford on loan.
Oh, fuck off, man. No.
It would have been. It would have been
Not a
Rashford.
chance. Do you know what? I think that's more the other side of me where you're looking at Grealish the way I look at Rashford. Yeah, he's just one of those people that you can see would sit next to you in a pub, start bigging it off to you, and you just backhand him once in the face and tell him to sit in the corner and be quiet. He's just one of them pricks.
Yeah.
Just really, really. He might be a nice fella. I'm only saying what I've seen of him and how he comes across and that. But he's definitely that one you would just backhand him and say, sit in the corner and be quiet. And he's annoying. He's aggravating. I really don't like the player. And when it also comes to it as well, he's another very, very patchy player. I mean, Rashford on his day is fucking good. But for me, he's just way too inconsistent. And I honestly don't like his attitude. But then on the other side, as long as he performs on the pitch, I don't really care what he does off the pitch. But he doesn't really perform consistent enough for me. If anything, I'd say Grealish is more consistent at what Grealish is meant to do than Rashford. I mean, what do you think on that?
Well,
how he got into Barcelona, I don't know. But
he's going to throw
He's going to mould him.
Yeah.
Go on, let Ellie finish. Go on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, right, there's one big difference, massive difference between Grealish and Rashford. Grealish keeps the ball. He gets a lot of fouls, right? He draws a lot of fouls and he doesn't lose the ball. He's a bit like Dembele. You give him the ball, he's not going to lose it. He nurtures the ball very well, just like Kulu does, but Kulu loses the ball, right? But he doesn't. He doesn't lose the ball. Very, very rarely he'll lose the ball, all right, because he knows how to control the ball. Whereas Rashford, it can bounce off him. He loses the ball. Quite often, I saw him for Villa, and my husband even said, he's not good. He's not a good player. Even Jose said, I don't trust him because he loses the ball too often. Yeah, so what was Grealish? He's fantastic, and he'll pick you up the pitch. So there's the big difference. I'd not rather invest in Grealish 100 million times than Rashford. Not just because of the attitude.
I mean, I totally agree with what you're saying now. I mean, we ain't getting Rashford anyway. It's just where he came into the conversation. I mean, I'll come to you in a second, Brian, and good to see you on here, mate.
Anyway.
Yeah, hello, everyone.
What do you think of Rashford? I mean, I'm just asking in general. I know he's Barcelona gone and whatever else and that, but you did mention him, sort of thing. What would you two think of him? Would you actually have wanted him at Spurs?
Rashford, you know what? He showed that he's got his groove back at Villa, didn't he? He looked a lot more relaxed, a lot more comfortable, a lot more like the old Rashford. There's obviously something really bad going on at Real Madrid. Where the hell did Real Madrid come from? Aston Villa. With the way we're going right now, and if Sonny was to leave, I would have taken Rashford. I would have had Rashford at Spurs. Do I think there was any way we'd get the deal over the line? Absolutely not at the moment. I think I would have. I would have had him on loan for the season. First way, if I had a choice, Grealish or Rashford, I actually think I would have chosen Rashford.
Really? That's what exactly. Do you know what you say that? I mean, fucking hell, that is literally just about what I was going to ask you. I mean, if it would have been one or the other, I mean, I know this is all talking hypothetical, whatever else and that, yeah. I mean, you've just said you'd have had Rashford over Grealish.
Yeah,
I mean,
Rashford,
two different players.
Me too.
Both on the left wing.
Rashford can score. Grealish don't score a lot, does he?
Yeah. I think Rashford coming in on the left can be, but again, it's if we saw like the Aston Villa Rashford, not the Manchester United Rashford of the season before. I think he offers a lot more. They're both wonderful players, don't get me wrong, but I think Rashford would have, and also like Ghosted just said, Rashford would have also given us that security that if Solanke got injured or whoever, you then got that option to play him up front. So I think I would have chosen. Yeah, I'd definitely choose Rashford over Grealish. But it's all hearsay, isn't it?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it is. It's just Grealish is still there for the taking, and it says that and everything. And I just personally think he's another one who I would quite happily take on loan. Like others were saying with Paulinho earlier, I mean, he's one that I would definitely buy personally because I think for the next 3 seasons, 4 seasons even, he could do it for us. But if we got to get him and we get him on loan, I wouldn't necessarily argue with that one either, basically. It's just we are now at that point where it's just, I mean, another one who I would not personally say no to is going for Harvey Elliott. And he's meant to be like on the system as well. He's another one I would not say no to. I mean, what do you four think on Harvey Elliott?
All day.
All day long.
I don't rate him. I just don't rate this guy.
Neither do I. And after the things you said about Spurs, you can fuck off. There you go.
Me too.
That's the problem. That he has been very, very, very derogatory to Tottenham in the past. But as a player, all day long.
I think there's better midfielders than him.
The thing is, we've been very derogatory as well.
Honestly, I would take Ederson over him. I would take anyone over this guy. I don't rate this. He's a little pain. And every time I just hope someone can just like side tackle the crap out of him.
But if someone can get into Liverpool's team, I mean, and okay, you weren't a first pick on the team or whatever, but even get into it to play on the pitch for Liverpool, you got to be fucking good. Because for me, I think we've got 2 players that would even make it into their subs bench if we was lucky. And I think there's a lot of potential in Elliott as well. And he's also proved that he can play on the pitch with Liverpool. I mean, obviously he didn't do it consistently. I mean, look at the team they have got, for God's sake, yeah. But I mean, for say a 35, 40 million, what the rumour is he's out there for, wouldn't he be another ideal one for us to look at as such? Because I think he's better than what we got there, except Maddison. Well, Maddison's more of a 10 anyway, so I think he's better than what we've got there. I mean, if he called us to see you next Tuesday in the past and whatever, okay, fine. As long as you come and play football properly for us, I don't really care. I mean,
it's a hard one, isn't it?
I mean, Ellie, why would you have him? Why would you quite happily buy him?
Because I like him as a footballer. I don't care what he says about us, because Maddison was derogatory about us as well.
Very true.
Yeah,
very true.
And there's probably many others. There's pundits who are very, very derogatory about us. Ex-footballers, they should know better. But listen, right? He's a really good footballer. I like him. I think he's got something, and he can even get better, right? And he'll fit into our team very nicely because, like you said, he's better than what we've got, and he's a versatile player as well. I think when I watched him for England under-21s, he was fabulous. I know that's the under-21s, but when he's come on for Liverpool, he's always been in around the box. He contributes. He's a very what's the word? He's not just versatile. He's hard-working and he's tenacious, and he'll get stuck in. He's a little bit of a sod, which I like. You have to have players like that in your team, a little bit aggressive, and know themselves. Yeah, you can't have all pretty boys just prancing around the pitch, and not doing a lot. Yeah. Anyway, I like him. I think he's great.
Agreed.
What do you think, Brian?
I agree. I think Harvey Elliott is a very good young prospect, and obviously this is the thing that Liverpool do. Liverpool start buying immense talent, and then they realise that there's players that they need to cut, whether they're very, very good or not. And Harvey Elliott looks like he's fallen into that category of, okay, mate, thanks for everything you've done. We've now upped our levels, and it's time for you to go. And they'll get top dollar for him. They'll get a great fee for him. They don't wait about. I think he walks in, he immediately improves our midfield. Immediately. Yeah. But again, it comes down to, will Spurs go into it? Will he want to come to Spurs? We're running out of time to do things. But what does he offer something to Tottenham that we desperately need? Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Yes,
he does.
Well, what would you say that would be, Bri?
Say again, what
does he offer?
He offers a bit of he's very good at taking his man on. He's very direct and driving forward. He has got an incredible shot on him. incredible
Yeah.
shot on him. He has got an eye for a pass. He's tenacious. His work rate is right up there. He's a little pit bull that'll just go around yapping. And he again, it's just that burst of energy. You look at our midfielders right now. Do we have one that you can say has just got bags and bags and bags of energy that just you can say Bentancur gets up and down and has done bit, but there's no one that you just sit there and go, right, he'll run around like a madman, and he does do that. He does do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
have we got that in Saar,
mate.
Do we not have that in Saar, Brian?
Yeah, we do, but quality-wise in all the other things apart from energy, Elliot trumps him.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with the passing and the vision.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it just works with everything that we seem to go for at Spurs, basically. Yep. And I do like, God, you fuck off. You know what? The doctor was meant to call me at 10:15 and then just had the audacity to try and have a go at me because I said to her, you got 2 minutes. 10:15. And then wants me to go up there in the next hour for a blood test and that. I said, lady, stick that where the sun don't shine and give me a different bloody appointment.
Well, mate, technically, Dad, if she was talking Toronto time, she's only half an hour late, so it's not that bad. And she was meant to call me at 10:15. And then has the audacity to grill me that I say, you got 2 minutes. I mean,
well, Dietrich, break this up. Why would you not have?
Ben. Just want to say a big thanks to Chop Cheese there from Snapchat, much appreciated. Another player that I'm going to come to after you just spoke about this one, Garnacho left wing, Vizza striker, Paulinia DM, Morgan Gibbs right. What you think? I'll come to that next, mate. I'll come to that one next. Go on with what you were saying, Ben. Sorry.
No, I wanted to hear Dietrich's opinion on Harvey Elliott. I want to see if he breaks up the trend at the moment. Dietrich, what do you think about Harvey?
I said I personally don't want Harvey Elliott because I know he's better than what we got. I know he is better than all the midfielders we have, other than maybe Madison. I just have an issue with those type of players. I just don't want to see spend the money on those type of players. I think there's better out there and cheaper. I'm just giving an example. Ederson would be a lot cheaper than Harvey Elliott, and he's 10 times the player of Harvey Elliott.
Do you think? I think
Yes.
Ederson would be a bit more expensive, personally. I mean,
No.
Atalanta ain't in no trouble out there. I know Italy is in serious trouble with money, but
they said 55 million euros, which is almost 45 million pounds, for a player that has qualities, played in the Champions League, played with the national team. I'm just don't want to buy those type of players that are 21 and under. I want to see some proven players, and that's the only reason why I say go in Italy and go buy those midfielders that we really, really, really need.
I mean, I do get where you're coming. I mean, Ederson, I'd rather take him all day long. I mean, it's like I said, in Italy, none of the teams are particularly great with money at the moment. I mean, if you actually look at it in Italy, I think there's only 3 or 4 teams that have actually spent over 30 million. And then when you look at the ones who have, bar one of them, I think it's Copper at the top, it's all to do with the income they've had as well and why they've actually even been able to spend that much. And some of the teams have brought in over 20 players for spending 40 million, basically. And I do think Ederson is one we could go out there and get, and I think he would be an extremely good idea, personally. And would I take him over Harvey Elliott? Yes, I would. But if that option wasn't there, I definitely wouldn't say no to Harvey Elliott. I mean, surely you need some players on that pitch with a bit of a attitude on them. You don't want them all to just be nice robots, basically.
Well, the only reason I don't want Harvey Elliott is mostly because I just don't like him, and number 2 is his age. I want to get some mid-20s, close to 30s. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
But Dietrich, what you got to say? He's played for a Premier League winning team. He's played for a team that's gone on and won FA. He may be young, but he's not like someone we're bringing in that just is a complete youth product and let's see what he's got. This is
he's not an Archie Gray.
Exactly. He's come in and he's done exceptionally well for Liverpool. He's been around absolute ballers and people that have won things, serial winners, which would have rubbed off on him. I know what you're saying about wanting to get some experienced players in, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. It's what we need, but I don't think you can put Harvey Elliott in the bracket of not another youngster for what he's done and the minutes he's played and what he's achieved at Liverpool.
I don't look at those type of resumes. If he made an impact in a way that he was a starter for that team, yes, I get it. Same as Foden. If you gave me Foden, yes, I would buy him because he made an impact on winning the title. Harvey Elliott barely played last year.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Honestly, it's like this. I can use the same argument. Let's go buy Hendo from Liverpool. He wasn't a title-winning team. No.
Yeah, I won't go that far.
I'm just like.
I know what you're saying. But I think we're not. I think Harvey Elliott would very much suit Tottenham Hotspur and what we're looking.
Do you know? I just saw something very interesting about him. He started at my hubby's team, QPR, right? And then he moved to Fulham. He only played 2 games for Fulham, and then Liverpool snapped him up. So they must have been watching him as a kid, like in the youth academies. They must have had their eye on him, and they snapped him up after just 2 games for Fulham, which shows you that, they were watching him and they liked him. So they thought he was good enough for Liverpool. So that's something to behold, really.
Because I just look at, just quickly last thing. If I look at Newcastle, they buy, for example, Tonali for £50 million. Like, go buy those type of players. For £50 million, that's almost Harvey Elliott's price. And he's 100 times the player.
You know what? Player.
No, 100 times better. Like, Sandro Tonali is like easily top five midfielder in the league.
No, you know what? Yeah, this is where for me a very, very underrated player. I mean, when they went and got Tonali from what was it, AC Milan, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There is so much more to come from that player. Trust me, they got a fucking steal there for it. The only reason he got run down basically is because of the deal that came with him, and then he got his ban and everything else. He is a fucking solid centre mid. And I think he's one of the better in the Premier League, without a doubt. And he's another player that I don't think actually gets the credit he deserves as such. Tonali is about 10, 20 times better than anything we have at Spurs. The only one who I would say is better on his feet is Maddison, and that's only for the moment, not the game. But Tonali would walk into... Sorry, Tonali would... For me, I think Tonali's good enough to fight for Liverpool's team. I think he's good enough to fight on City's team. I think he's good enough. He'd walk into Arsenal's middle and play alongside Declan Rice. And personally, I think he's more than good enough to get in any of the top 4 teams.
But this is why I say, instead of focusing on the names like Harvey Elliott, there's nice gems in other places and other leagues. They're a lot cheaper and better.
It's very true. I mean,
you've got the advantage for him being English, though. To be fair, that's pretty huge. Do you not think? I mean, obviously, because Ederson being Brazilian, and I think with Harvey being an English,
it is a big problem we got.
It is.
We do need it.
Why don't we buy both of them? Get both of them then.
Why not, Eddie? Why
not? Come on, let's be greedy.
No, let's not even be greedy. Let's just be a big fucking club like we're supposed to be. To be.
I know, I get it, but
you know what I mean?
At the end of the day, we're Tottenham. We bought one player, and now we're stuck with Morgan Gibbs and we haven't bought anyone for almost a month.
I mean, the other one I'll go to then with that, I can see it's quite split on the Harvey Elliott, but I would basically take Harvey Elliott. But I totally agree with what Dietrich said. I think there is significantly better. I think there's better out there than Morgan Gibbs-White.
Me too,
million. But I just think Morgan Gibbs-White is more than good enough.
Blasphemy.
Damn right.
But I think he's good enough for what we need as a player, and he also ticks the other boxes as well. I mean, I do think there's better out there, especially in Italy, than Morgan Gibbs-White. But he's a player. I will not argue with him.
Last thing, do you know Reinders would have been the same price as Harvey Elliott? And Man City just got him for £50 million. And Reinders is a bloody good midfielder, box-to-box midfielder.
I mean, the one that's coming up on our side, and this is one that I personally don't want to happen. I mean, Brian, I'll start with you, mate.
Yep.
Garnacho. if I've even pronounced his fucking name right.
Yeah.
I'm terrible.
Do you know what? Do you know the worrying thing? Or not? I don't know if you want to say this is worrying or not. We were talking about it on Ben Kaufman's show, and someone said we checked. Garnacho counts as homegrown.
Does he?
Has he?
Yeah. He counted as homegrown for Manchester United this season.
Yeah,
So-
he joined at the age of 16. Yeah.
So that, with what we're looking for and needing club trained homegrown, but he qualifies as homegrown, which I think has put extra petrol on this fire. If I'm honest, what I will say, he is a talent, but it's so irregular and so inconsistent. When I put it this way, how did we all feel when he came on in the Europa League final for Manchester United? The very first thing I said was, "Oh Jesus, here we go. He's going to cause us big problems." And we were being the ultra defensive team, and there is no doubt about it that when he came on, he was our biggest threat. But again, like you say, Dan, it's moments. I know that with him, it's moments. He seems to have an attitude problem. Does Cuti, Romero and the Argentinian link kick that out of him if Cuti's still there? Do I think he could go to the next level and be a threat? Yes, I do. Wherever he goes. Do I think he could do it at Tottenham? I just don't know. And again, we're just talking about one inexperienced. Yes, he's played at Manchester United a long time, but is he the right answer? Is he the right answer? But I have to say, like I said, when he came on, he had that shot that Vicario saved. I made a very good save of it, and I'll say that because I know James Flowers in the building. But he came on.
James, if you want to jump on, send me a message. I'll send you a link. Sorry, Brian.
I'm sure. I don't know how you guys felt on the panel and in the chat when he came on. Did you think, there's a problem?
Yeah.
Go on, Ellie.
No, I was just going to say, right, Brian, he's one of those pest players, right? He's a very talented footballer, right? He's got the skills, but he just doesn't produce it all the time. And I think because of his inconsistency, he doesn't get a long run in the team. If he produced it like when he comes on as a super sub, right, he lights up the place, right?
Yeah.
Every time I've seen him come on, he does something really special. That overhead kick that he did to score, fantastic. Not many players can pull that off, by the way. But he's just one of those exciting, explosive players. But can he do it over 90 minutes? He hasn't really proved that at Manchester United. So we're taking a bit of a risk.
Ellie, it's not even about the 90 minutes in all honesty. It's whether he can do it for a season consistently.
That's it, right? But I mean, when he gets on, he's like you know when Liverpool had that Fair Club. I don't know if any of you are old enough. He was like their super sub. He'd come on and he'd be electric for 25, 30 minutes and he'll turn a game. That's what Garnacho can do. But whether he can do it consistently throughout the season, we're going to put all our eggs in one basket. That's why I prefer experience on that side.
Oh, yeah, listen, there's a host of other wingers I'd rather we signed. Yeah. I'm not saying he's definitely not on my list and saying, yes, let's go get him. But he has got something. He has got something. He's got that overhead kick goal we scored against Everton. There's times when he's taken his man on time after time after time, but then his final product hasn't always been there. He can be frustrated. We've said we want players that can take on the ball and get you on the edge of your seat and thinking, what's he going to do? Garnacho, with his attributes, can be that player. There's a lot of development in him needed. I wouldn't go as far as that, Michael, but that's your opinion. But I don't know if I'd call him trash. His attitude is definitely trash. But I listen, if we were to go in for a left winger because Sonny left, I would listen, nothing's going on with Eze right now. If Spurs are serious, go get Eze.
Yeah.
Can I jump in and go against Brian?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, can I? Well, listen, you're not going to like this. Right. Garnacho is a jumped up little twerp who's had way too much smoke blown up his arse. They're gonna look, listen. They're gonna want £70 million for this particular.
I wouldn't pay. Yeah, that's a hell no.
Right.
Oh, no.
Listen, he's played the last 2 seasons. He's played 36 games last season and the season before. His highest statistical run was 7 goals and 4 assists, and then last season he got 6 goals and 2 assists. I'm going to be honest with you. I really and truly wouldn't want him anywhere near the club. He's got a huge attitude problem. He seems to think he's God's gift to fucking football. And I'm sorry. Look, I know, and Ellie, I know you're a bit of a fan of him. Look, he does have something, but I think that's overshadowed by so many other things. Look, with him, his final product is not there. It's not there. Okay, certain players, right? So, for instance, Kudus. The way I look at Kudus is he's a problem player. He's one of those players that's going to drive you up the pitch and will make a sensible decision. I cannot tell you how many times I've watched Garnacho and just thought, you have wasted that opportunity there. And for 70 million, I think, and the thing is, you ain't going to get him for any less than 70 million. Like Man United, they rate him real high. I think you'd be mad. I think you'd be mad to buy him for 70 million. So for me, I would take Grealish over Garnacho any day of the week. And I'm very much on the fence with Grealish. So, yeah, I'm
you know what Garnacho reminds me of, right? But not the shit house. He hasn't got the shit housery of this player. But he's a bit like Romero, right? He gets the ball, right? And he makes the wrong decisions. I get that. Lamella did that a lot. And he'd roll over the ball, and then he'd wait. You say, pass, right? And he doesn't make the right decision, right? Garnacho's like that as well, but he's got the other side of him that's a flair player, right? If we could see more of that, and then Frank gets hold of him and coaches him so that he gets like a Brian Mbomo type of decision maker, then we've got a player. There's something to work on there because he has got the skill. It's the attitude I agree with, right? That's where Frank can get hold of him, right, and say, look, you little arsehole, right, you're listening to me now, right? You do what I tell you to do and get him to that point where he gets that shit out of him and actually starts playing the football that he can play. Because we've seen it. We've seen he's got the talent. It's just that final ball. Make the right decision.
Scott was right. And like I said, I've said all season, whatever we bring in this season is obviously what Frank wants, or hopefully what Frank wants and needs. And I'm going to be okay with it. If it's Garnacho, then so be it. I personally wouldn't be at 70 million, definitely not. If it was 40, 35 mil, then maybe you're talking that's a sweet spot of Spurs and they go and do it. But like I said, it all depends now. We're talking to these players. We need players out the door as well. Players out the door. We are so crap at getting players out the door. Oh, it's tragic. It's tragic. It's all well and good talking about all these ingoings, but we have... Look, Thomas Frank is having 2 friendlies on Saturday because he needs to see everyone because of the size of the squad and get their minutes up ready. The players out is a major issue.
It's like a subtle hint.
If you want it, I've sent you the link. Go on, finish what you're saying. Sorry, I was just telling Mike I've sent him the link if he wants it.
No, it's been finished.
Can I add my bit to it, to be fair?
No.
I think that's good. I think there's so many myths and
put your volume up a bit. Put your volume up a bit.
Can you hear me now?
Barely.
Oh, it's the same as normal. No?
No, that's a bit better. Go on.
That's better.
All right, sorry. Yeah, so this whole myth of he's got an attitude, based on what? What have you seen him do? What's that?
I've just put your mic up. Everyone can hear you.
Oh, okay. So everyone says that he's got an attitude problem. Based on what? What has he done that people go, Carl, look at that attitude? Because if anyone tells me that he's got an attitude, well, we should be screaming for Romero out immediately then. players like that we should be getting rid of, because a bad attitude, I haven't seen him do nothing. His brother, or he come out after the European final and said, I scored in every single round up until the final and then I was dropped for the final. Is that an attitude, or is that somebody that wants to win? Because I think
Fair point.
sometimes people that want to win get slandered for having a bad attitude. Unfortunately, people like Heung-Min Son, and I'm not knocking this guy here because he's been an absolute legend for us, but in my opinion, his mentality is not a winner. He's a yes, boss, I'll do whatever you ask, boss. Romero's a winner. There's a reason he's a winner. His attitude's a winner. There's a reason he turns up into big games. Garnacho, for me, has the same sort of attitude. I think it's a South American thing. I don't think it's an attitude. I just think it's who they are. Lamela had the same thing. Aguero had the same thing. Tevez had the same thing. It's not a matter of don't buy him, his attitude's crap. I'm not buying that. And for me, we're slating him for his output. But yet, look at everybody in the United team's output. Look who he's feeding in for goals. Like, Højlund's absolutely rubbish. So he's passing the ball to Højlund. Højlund's missing, and he's getting criticised for that. You've got to be fair. You've got to look at things. It's not all black and white. That's why stats don't always tell you the full story.
I agree. But I've seen him play a few times, James. I really personally don't rate from what I've seen. I get what you're saying with the attitude, yeah, and that's one thing I do agree. But then there's that. It's like with a lot of things, yeah. There's always that thin line, isn't there? There's always that thin line between a reason and an excuse. Before the reason becomes an excuse, there's always a thin line. Or there's that attitude where you've got the attitude of where you're a bit of a smug prick because you know you're good, and then you've got that attitude because you're just just see you next Thursday sort of. There is a very, very thin line for it. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with having... You do need some players who've got that smug attitude on there and whatever and that. I do agree with that. Who've got that confidence or just, you know what, I can do this shit. I think Kudus is one we've already got now who's got that sort of attitude. Maddison has got that smug little attitude that it'd do a trick to you, that like if you was playing football with him and do a couple of tricks over your head and round you, and you just want to kick him in the kneecaps basically and say sit down because he's a smug little prick like that. But you do want that on your team as such, but you don't want too much of it. I mean, what sort of attitude would you say he's got? And then I come to you, Mike, because obviously you ain't too keen on him. I ain't too keen on him either from what I've seen with the eyes.
Yeah, I personally think that he's got the same attitude as somebody like Kudus. I think he knows how good he is. He knows he should be playing at a higher level than United for the last 3 or 4 years. Not saying that he's bigger than United as a club, but he's definitely better than sort of bottom 5 team for the last 2 or 3 years. So for me personally, I think that it's hard to judge somebody like that. I just think in the circumstances that he's in, if he was put into a different team, he works hard, both forward and back. I just think you can't always judge a book by its cover, because if we did that, Kudus would be a £10 million player, because last season he was nothing short of shocking.
Do you know what? I do understand. I don't just get that one. I understand where you're coming from there. And I think Brian on here says something good. Based on posting shit on Twitter, arguing with fans, when he's criticised, he fires back. When United wanted him out, he started a fuss. Is that enough for you, James, for a bad attitude?
Well, also, James had just thrown in, his name, and James, I do agree with you to an extent, but you've just thrown Garnacho's name into a plethora of very skilled talent, people that performed on a large basis. With someone like Garnacho, realistically, what has he done? What's he achieved this year? Is he performing week in, week out? No. Yeah, you can have an attitude and a bit of fire to you. That's brilliant. That's fine. But you've got to have numbers and shit to back it up, surely.
Yeah, within reason, mate. Like, if he's good enough, if he thinks he's better than what United are, what do we expect him to do? Just accept that? Like for me, he is only 20 or just turned 21, so he's still young. If he's got that drive to win now and to improve now, for me, I just think he's been unfair. I'm not saying that he's the be all and end all and go get him like he's the number one. I just think
21, Jim.
Yeah, 21. Yeah, exactly. So for me, I don't see the negative with signing something like that. I was at football last night with a Man United fan, and I was talking to him. I said, I personally would love him. Like, what's he like? He said, to be honest, if he didn't if he didn't say I want to leave now, and he wasn't treated how he was treated, because he like I said, this United fan said, imagine you score every round, getting you to the final, then you're dropped. How would you feel?
Right,
Like you'd be devastated.
Hang on a
Yeah,
sec,
yeah,
James.
that's fair.
Ben needs to go. So I'll
Thank
catch you
you.
later, mate. Take
Yeah,
care.
see you
Right.
later, brother.
Take care,
Yeah,
everyone. See you
Ben.
soon. Bye,
Yeah,
bye,
Ben.
bye.
Right,
Yeah,
go
so
on, carry
you
on.
can-
What you saying, James?
You can imagine if you scored every round to the final and then got dropped for the final, like I would be absolutely livid. And then you lose in that final, well, I would be livid. So for me, and that's what he was saying. He said that Garnacho's got every right to be disappointed. He's been put in one game, dropped for 2 or 3 games, put in a game. He said every time he's been put in, he's done well this season. But what he did say is if you sign Garnacho for 35, 40 million, in 2-3 years' time, he'll be a £70 million player.
Okay.
And that's a United fan.
All right, then. Fair enough. Mike, how we doing, mate?
Big up everyone.
Big up,
Right,
mate.
mate.
Fine. Although the
Alright.
heat is killing me, I hate summers. I think I've shared that opinion plenty of times. I know it's not a popular one, but yeah, just bring me colder days, guys. Honestly, no, but I guess with Garnacho, right? I when I said that he has shit attitude, I wasn't even referencing the attitude of the pitch. I just think on the pitch, I don't like how he, like, I don't know how to put it, but how he portrays himself on the pitch. Basically, like, we have this saying in Polish that translates to that he shits higher than his ass is, right? Which basically like he thinks he's the big guy, right? And that he is better than he actually is, in my opinion. I know, yeah, basically that, right? Like, I know we often say that attitude in players is good, right? But I think this attitude has to be backed with skill. And me personally, I don't see the skill in this player, and which makes me not like him, right? Because like I just don't see the skill of the player, and I think he behaves just not like I think if he was more humble, right, in my opinion, and if he realized that he's 20 and what he needs to do is learn how to play the team game, I wouldn't be against it, right? But for me right now, he just looks like a guy who is trying way too hard to prove that he's the big bollocks, right? And the team is suffering for that. And there were plenty of matches, in my opinion, last season where United suffered because of his decision making in the final third, right? Because instead of passing, he was just going in for shots from ridiculous ranges and ridiculous like angles, right? That I just don't think he's that good. But that's just my opinion. I am more than happy to.
But with that, there's a couple of things. I mean, this is a good debate, to be fair. But there's if you kind of looked at that way for every player that was like that, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Like, I'm not saying that they're the same players on the pitch, because they're not. Like, Ibrahimovic is elite, but the attitude of that guy was just horrific. But it didn't matter. Like,
Yeah,
but this guy is only 20, so he could turn into something a bit amazing. You know, you said you haven't seen much on the pitch. I'm not going to lie, mate. A bicycle kick that he scored, and he scored some absolute beauts to see that there is talent in there. Like, you can see he's got some sort of talent, surely.
I mean, did you see Tarkowski's goal against Liverpool, right? Like, I don't know, like every once in a while, someone scores a stunner, right? Like, I'm not saying he's trash, right? I don't think he is like, because maybe my comments sounded that way. I concede that, in the comments it's sometimes hard to convey your message, right? But like, I don't think he's trash. I just think, and again with the Ibrahimovic example, right? Like, yes, I agree, Ibrahimovic's attitude was god awful, right? But he backed it with skill, right? You can be a dickhead on the pitch. You can be a dickhead on the pitch if you are the best player on the pitch, right? Then you just do whatever you want.
Ronaldo.
Right? Because, like Ronaldo, right?
Like,
even Messi, he's so fucking smug, right? If you watch Messi play, like, especially in his like younger years. Right now, I don't know what he's doing in MLS, right? But like in Messi's younger years, he wasn't like the nicest player to play, right? I don't know. I just think Garnacho, as I said, like I think he's bigger than he is really, and I really don't like that attitude in players, right? Where they think they are way better than they actually are, right?
If you think
By
that,
the way, all the Cristiano Ronaldo copycat stuff is just making me cringe. By the way, like maybe it's a bit personal too.
But if you think and brag that you're that good, basically, then be that fucking good. Practice what you preach, basically, is what you're saying. And he thinks he's a cut above the rest when so far he really hasn't been. I mean, Dietrich, what you haven't said nothing on it. If you're still there, what do you reckon?
Okay, it's gonna sound pretty bad and pretty controversial, but I'm sick and tired of
Doesn't it always?
Yeah, it is. I'm sick and tired of buying Argentinian players. Every time I see Garnacho, he just honestly, I just he looks like a unicorn. He just pisses me off. He can't finish, he can't pass, he can't do anything right. I'm not even joking. Like, he's so bad. And there's a reason why Man United fans always crucified him on the pitch. I don't want we bought Manchester. I don't want Garnacho. Those are my two wingers on the left. I'm going to lose my mind. Get me a proper winger. Get me Vista. Get me Mitoma. Give me those type of wingers. Don't get me freaking Garnacho.
Do you know what? I think I've got to agree with you on that one. I mean, Ellie, what do you reckon on him?
I like him, but I get everybody else's point. I think he has got talent. He just needs somebody to calm him down and get him straight.
That's
about his football.
That comment, that one's highlighted. No, the previous one. Like I had the same point with Tel, by the way, and with Odobert, right? I would rather, if we have talented wingers in the academy, right? Like I'm not in the camp of Mikey Morris, a generational talent, second Lamine Yamal, right? I'm not in that camp, right? But I think if parts of our like coaching staff think that he is good, right, then I would rather give him a chance than spend 50 million on Garnacho, right? And by the way, the price is also a key factor for me, because like United will want 50 million for him, right? I don't understand why a player like him would be 50 million.
Well, I have to say the price has just gone down 20 million, because Ben was saying they wanted 70 million. So we're having our own auction here. We're down to 50 people. We're down to 50, which means the opening bid of 20.
Like, that's what's sort of happening with Paulinho as well, though, isn't it? Sort of thing. I mean, with the comment just made here, I think that one's a bit. No, I can't agree with that. Frank getting Garnacho is worse than Ange getting Werner. No.
What I will say
I get where he's coming from, but I'm sorry, no, I can't dig that one. If I have to have one or the other, I'm getting Garnacho over Werner. I mean, in that aspect, you could stick one of us on the pitch over Werner, and you'd definitely see more action. I mean, he's so fucking bland and everything as a player. Just no. But I get where you're coming from, but no, not worse than Werner. Go on, Brian. Sorry.
I was about to say, just you look at it, just to kind of the way we got to look at it as well with Garnacho. Thomas Frank has said, sorry, he's got his no dickheads policy, hasn't he? So does Garnacho fall into the no dickheads policy? Who knows? Like I said, again, we keep talking incomings. These outgoings need to happen. There's so obviously this. You're doing a transfer show. Every channel, because we all want the incomings and we all want the incomings. Is let's talk about this. Should he come in? Should he come out? We have a major problem with getting players out of this football club. A major problem. There's no links. There's no. I don't know if the club are actively trying to get players out of the door, and even if they are, we've shown in the past we're hideous at doing it. For these players to come in, we have to get players out. We have to. People can stop talking about. People can stop talking about Whistler as well, because Whistler looks like it's going to Newcastle, so that's another striker off the door. Yeah. But outgoings is a major issue.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is one thing we definitely. I mean, this is just where we have that major problem at Spurs, that all of a sudden, bang, bang, and it looks like we're in it, and then all of a sudden, the wedding turns into a funeral, basically, again. Right. I mean, that is what it was basically like. You was like over the moon, and then the next thing you know, you're going to a funeral after the wedding. I mean, it's probably not the best way to do a day, but that's the way we do it at Spurs, sort of thing. And we just can't. Is it that we can't get no one out, or is it that the problem is some of the players don't want to go? Because the rumours have been that there has been offers there for Basuma, but he's refusing to go. And I know there's things you can do to push a player out as such, but at the end of the day, he's got to accept to go. And also, like with Richarlison, he has made it clear as day he don't want to go nowhere. And he's had offers, you know. So is it the players that are more the issue, or is it the club that's more the issue getting rid of them? I mean, what do you think?
It's both right now. It's both right now. I think Richarlison will go to Everton if Everton came. And obviously, we got to look at this as well, which comes in. If he's not going to be playing regular football and we can't keep him fit, he's got a World Cup. He's got a World Cup and he's going to want to be playing first team regular football. These players, we've got to be ruthless. We've got to start being ruthless. Like, okay, you might not want to go, but guess what? This ain't a holiday campaign anymore. This ain't just sit here and coin 100 grand, 80 grand, whatever it may be, and see your contract out. You're surplus to requirements, and whether you like it or not, you won't be playing. So you either move on or you just stay here and do nothing.
But that's where I say I think there's also a lot of more mercenaries out there than people realise as well, who will just actually sit there and say, do you know what, fuck it, I just take the wages. I'm not saying it's the right attitude to have.
Spurs accommodate it, so you've got the player. So when you look at it, Dan, in answer to your question, you got the player that's being very, very. I've got a contract here. I'm earning some nice money, or whatever way you want to look at it. But then you've got the club that need to say, "Well, that's bully for you. Really happy you are, but you're not playing. You needed to go, and it doesn't matter what you think." The player can say no to the clubs that are linked, obviously, which becomes an issue. But they need to know that they're not going to be at the forefront of Frank's plans.
Yeah, I agree. And I've said it on Sean's show yesterday, right? I think there comes a point where the club needs to become ruthless. And I just think Spurs are too nice as a club, right? Like, if you want to get rid of players like Bissouma, you buy his replacement, then you register the squad, show him the list of 25, and say you are not on the list, right? You either sit on the bench, we make an agreement, and you release you of your duties, right? Or just find a way to get rid of them, right? I think we are trying too much to be this, like, the nice club, basically, right? Like, trying to do everything peacefully with the players and all that stuff, right? I think, unfortunately, and I'm not saying, by the way, that we have to do it in a cold-hearted way. Like,
well, if you have to, you have to.
Yeah, but if you have to, you have to, right? But how should I put it? Like, the club doesn't have to be like a dickhead about it, right? Like, they don't have to do it in that way, but they just need to make a decision on players and stick with their decision. That's how I see it, right?
I mean, I do agree that not just as the club, but as the fan base, we are too nice at Spurs. I mean, and I do agree with what Workers said here. Like, in a World Cup year, threatening of no play does carry some sort of weight.
Big time.
Now, if we was to turn around and we want Richarlison out that much and say, do you know what? We ain't even going to pick you for the fucking squad. Go sit over there and train over there on your own. Do this and that. As far as I'm concerned, if I was the owner, I'd be like, complain to the press all you want, you little prick. Fuck off. And now he could just be a little prick and sit there and just say, well, I still ain't going nowhere. Okay, that's his call. But in a World Cup year, with someone like Richarlison, who God knows how gets into Brazilian's team, that just shows how backwards. I mean, the way Brazil have gone backwards as a team, they're in the Stone Ages compared to what they used to be, basically. They might as well be fucking cavemen. I mean, you look at some of the players they have had compared to what they've got now, the difference is just unbelievable. But the fact that he can get into that Brazil squad, surely that would have some sort of effect on him. I mean, what you three reckon? Whoever.
It does. No, well, I just want to. I've just been seeing Samuel's comments. First of all, Richie isn't first choice. Solanke is, whether you like it or not. Players do get pushed out if they're in the first team. And I'll just give you a few just for an example. Back in the day, Jaap Stam, Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Yeah.
But if they can get Coutinho, although he wanted to move, but they said it, sometimes you get rid of the big players to bring in the new. If the manager says, I need this, but I need to get rid of this to get it sanctioned, it happens. Richie, what? Yeah, but Richie isn't. Richie is. Why did he start in the final? Because of the injuries.
Purely.
Sam, I like Richie. I think when he's fit, he can do a job. He can't keep fit. He can't keep fit.
I don't rate him as a player.
His stats for Brazil are very, very good. Look at the players he's playing around. Richie is not an out-and-out left-sided player. He won't. If Spurs want to start getting rid of players, if Spurs want to start being serious, they need to stop with this sentimentality. And if there's players that we can get out the door to get out the, if there's players we can get out the door to help finance bringing other players in, it's the way it works, and we need to do it. And we need to do it.
And then that's what you, like Ben just says here, too sentimental. I mean, sometimes you got to, I mean, I'll say it again. Some don't like it. It's a dog-eat-dog world. Fucking deal with it. Sometimes you have got to be cold and fucking cold-hearted to get what you want. And if you just keep being too nice and not selfish enough, because other thing in life, you got to be selfish sometimes. You got to think of number one. Because if you don't look after yourself and love yourself, no one else is going to do it for you. And they're just going to walk all over you and even over your grave when it comes down to it. And when it comes to football and getting to stuff like that, I really wouldn't care. But unless the player accepts on going, they are very hard to get out. But Richarlison is in that Brazil squad. And surely we could give him that push if it was that we wanted to get rid of him. But also what Ben says here, I think is a fair point. Do we overprice the players?
Exactly, but not just that, Ben. Not just that. What we got to look at as well, Dan, is we cannot keep him fit. We cannot keep this guy fit. Do we go, do you know what, this year might be the year he stays fit, and then literally get burnt again?
Like we have done so many bloody times. I mean, how many times, like they say, don't play with fire. Spurs have played with it so many times, they've probably got no fucking hands left. So when it comes down to it, isn't it? I mean, Dietrich, what do you think of Richarlison? Like, do you reckon we could get him out if we wanted to? Should we get him out? Should we keep him?
Okay, this is where I'm gonna criticize a lot of people once again. If you think we're gonna be okay, if you guys accept finishing 17 and winning a trophy, which is a good season, which is fair point, this is your rights, this is your opinion. But then you say you want to kick on, you want Levy to change, you want this, you want that. Having players like Richarlison will never get us to the promised land. Richarlison is the prime example of bad business and terrible recruitment. He's not good enough in any department. He can't stay fit.
Mate, Hulk Hogan has died.
Oh, shit.
Hulk Hogan has died.
Cool. I remember him as
that's Theo Huxtable from the Cosbys.
Yeah, you just reported.
Ozzy Osbourne and Hulk Hogan back to back to back.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, rest in peace. Rest in peace, Hogan.
That was my legend.
No, I ain't having that. Undertaker.
Listen, I'm not getting into this. It's The Rock all day long. There's no discussion.
I mean, when I was younger, I used to love my wrestling. Yeah, when I was younger, I used to love it. As I got older, I just they look like they're touching each other up more than anything. And I went over to UFC and that. Yeah, and UFC is good. But I must admit, when it came to doing a show and stuff like that on the wrestling side of it and that's just where the Americans are fucking good. And for me, you did not touch that Undertaker. I mean, Mike, did you like a bit of wrestling?
Not really.
No.
I wasn't
I was younger.
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan, but I used to like Mysterio, Hulk, and honestly, even John Cena used to watch his fights against the Rock.
I mean, what was the other one you had as well? Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was another one I
Now,
liked.
legend.
And then you also had the Ultimate Warrior, another one I liked. But anyway, back to the football side of it then. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. And go on, you were saying about Richarlison.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, it's time for, like, do you know the same way we just, like, put Ndombele on this side and told him, like, we're gonna agree on, like, your contract? I think that's what we need to do with Richarlison. Like,
Be right
just
back.
tell him, please, just leave. We'll pay you, but just get out of the club. You don't bring anything good. And you can tell he's getting good wages. So why would he force a transfer out of Tottenham? So I don't think it's a good idea to keep him. And honestly, he just pisses me off.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, go on, Mike. What's your full opinion on Richarlison, and should we get rid of him?
Mate. Oh, Jesus Christ. I think
This one's gonna hurt. Go on.
Nah,
Let it
this
out.
guy is absolutely fucking trash, right? Like, I've said it plenty of times. I think this is the second biggest transfer mistake we've made as a club after Ndombele in the past decade.
I think he's worse than Ndombele.
Or even, like, Ndombele at least has talent, right? But I guess you are weighting availability against talent, right? Because, like, Ndombele, he was quite available, but he never gave a shit, right? Richarlison is never available, but at least he gives a shit, right? But he has no talent, so, like, you decide which one is worse, right? Basically,
someone needs to check his passport. This guy's not Brazilian.
Yeah,
I think he's Dominican
or Peruvian or something, right? But
well, the way he runs out on the pitch, the way he runs about on the pitch, you'd think he's just come out of Colombia, for fuck's sake.
Honestly, the only thing I can give to Richarlison is the effort, right? But effort is not enough at this level. I don't give a shit if you try, right? I can go out there and try, right? But I'm just a shit footballer. I'm absolutely god awful at football, right? But I can try. That's how I envision it, right? And for me, he has nothing about him as a striker that I rate in strikers, right? For me, strikers are, if you are not a false nine, for me, a striker is like a 1.85 m at least guy, right? That's strong on his feet, that likes to battle, that likes to just be a nuisance, right? That just, it's not easy to play against him. And Richarlison, I have always felt like that whenever he just gets touched, he goes down to the ground. And yeah, fair enough. Maybe you can say that it wins us free kicks, right? But that's just not enough for me. Like, the striker needs to be the focal point of a team, and he's not. And we don't play false nine systems, right? Because, like, false nine, then you can maybe make an argument that false nines don't need to be like strong and physical and all that stuff, right? But they need to be technical. And his first touch, like, I cannot say what his first touch is, right? Because this will get the stream demonetized, right? But let's just say he's doing a party.
I don't care.
He's doing a party, Thomas Party, with his first touch, right?
No, look. Go on.
That's the way I see it, right? So for me, no, like Richarlison, I just hope and pray we somehow find a way to get rid of him. And I just really want a striker in place of him.
I totally agree. I mean, he tries. I mean, how can I describe him? I try not to be too... he's like that mate of yours that tries so hard down the pub. Really does try. And then he does pull the bird home. He hasn't even had a drink, and the poor fucker still can't get it up. He's just one of them ones, and he's not even pissed, and he still can't get it up. He's just one of them ones.
It's all good. The daddy analogy is coming. It's all good. It's all good.
When you got your mate who takes the one home and he's pissed out his head, do you know what, fella? Just don't get so drunk next time. He don't even get pissed up and he still can't satisfy it. He's just, I don't rate him in. The only thing he is he's that little prick in the box that annoys people and everything else and that. He is that annoying little player that can bring something to a game, that can even turn the defenders over looking at him a bit because he's just being a prick. But that's about all he can do. I just really don't rate him as a player. I just really don't.
I'll add to this, Dan. Listen, not last season, Ange's first season, he had the the little period, I think it was around November, Christmas, New Year, where he couldn't stop scoring. When he is fit and when he's playing regularly, he will score goals. He will score goals. But the problem is you can't keep him fit.
Yeah.
He picks up injuries too easily. And I saw Sam saying there's loads of players I'd sell before Richarlison. Which ones that will bring in money that can be reinvested back into the club? I can name 10, 11, 12 players that need to go, but they won't command any great fee that will help us. That's where the way we've got to look at it. Right now, he is our second choice striker behind Solanke. And
by the way, who would you sell before him? By the way, because like I just like went in my head through the team, and I'm honestly struggling to find many that I would sell before Richarlison.
There's players I'd sell before him, but they wouldn't command any value, and we need the money.
No, but just as a thought experiment, Brian, who would you sell before him?
Ben Davies.
I know it's not your opinion.
Ben Davies.
What this one?
Rodrigo's in.
Okay,
Pape Matar.
Fair enough.
Bissouma.
You'd sell all them before Richarlison.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I'm ready any of them.
But they're not going to command the fee. They're not going to command the fee.
Brian, I know it's hard in Canada. I know it's hard in Ontario, but I think like something's not right. What you're saying is not right.
No, he's right. He's right. Defenders. We got about 312 of them. Bentancur and Bissouma are both entering the last year of their contracts.
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't sign, and obviously Bentancur, this one's been up for ages, and it's been always he's just about to sign, he's not. So you need to sell if they're not going to sign and get him out the door rather than walking for a free. Same with Bissouma. Radu is having an issue with being fit, but we have about 58, like I said, 312 defenders. We've only got 2 strikers. We've only got 2. We need a replacement to come in, but Richarlison is one out of all those that will command the biggest fee.
I mean, if you look at the ones that you would say we would sell, and there is a list of them, if we even went and sold them at just half their price of what Spurs would probably rate it, that would still be a good 50-60 million in the bank. I mean, you go and sell someone like Davies, you're lucky if you get 1.5 million. In my opinion, you're lucky if he's one of them ones you're just going to have to give him away. Richarlison, Saudi Arabia are still willing to pay money for him. Maybe you get 10 million for him. We'd sell him for. Solomon, I think you could easily get 10 million for him if you put it out there and that. I mean, another player who, I agree with you that I would sell is Sarr. I reckon with Sarr, you could get 20 million off of that. Bissouma, I think you can get 10 million out of that. You actually add up some of these players that we would say need to go. Some say Dragusin needs to go. I still reckon he's another one. We could easily get 12 million out of that. There you go. There's already like 70 million sitting there on the table, and you've got rid of a lot of shit. Okay, you might have wanted more for those players, but it ain't going to happen. There's another 70 million sitting on the table and a lot of problems out of the way. But then we've lost a hell of a lot of depth to that team as well. And that's the other problem, isn't it? You do need to have some depth in your team. Now, if what you're saying here, Sam, flappy hands Vicario, what is it? Get pissed off every time the ball comes over the box. Vicario, I agree to an extent, is one that I think we can get better, but I don't think he's right up on the top of that list. I think he's an excellent shot stopper, one of the best. But then when it comes to other parts of a keeper, I haven't seen no improvement with him. So I do think he is one that I would... I mean, I was very up for him when we got him and that. I was one who knew of him and that. A lot didn't. And that's only because I watched the Italian football. And I do think he's an excellent shot stopper, but overall... there leaves a lot to be desired. Can Frank change it for the way we play and everything? I mean, what do you reckon on that one, Brian? Like with Vicario, I've seen quite a few people say over the past month that Vicario is one we should be looking to get rid of. And for me, okay, if we can get a better goalkeeper in there, but I don't think he's that high on the list.
He's definitely not high on the list. I think with Vicario, Look, I think we can all agree that Vicario needs to work on his distribution and his handling of certain things, but he's an incredible shot stopper. And we have Kinski, who's incredible with his feet and needs work with his shot stopping. I think we are underestimating how big of a coup it is to get that Liverpool goalkeeping coach, who's worked with some fantastic goalkeepers, including Alisson, who I think is the best keeper in the world right now. And let's see what the coach can get out of him. I do feel that I do have a sneaky suspicion, and a lot of people have been saying it as well, that Kinski, by the end of the season, could end the season as the number one. But I don't think, if we're talking about players that we need to get in or get out, Vicario doesn't even enter the list for me right now. It's not even a thought.
I saw... Sorry, just quickly about...
Go on, Dietrich. No, it doesn't have to be quickly. Go on.
Yeah. I don't think Vicario is like our biggest issue right now, but yes, I would sell him and get someone better, like Mike Maignan from AC Milan. But apparently, I just saw a report, I don't know if it's true, that AC Milan would accept, like, let's say, Vicario plus Clash for, like, let's say, Rafael Leao. And honestly, I would do that deal.
I mean, one who I would look at seriously, Dietrich, is if we do have this bit of money that is said, I mean, it's a big if.
Yeah.
I'd go for, what's his face, Costa from Porto. Because I don't think there's many people out there who actually need that goalkeeper yet. I don't think Liverpool need it yet. I think Man City are getting to the point, but I don't think it's a priority for them yet. Arsenal don't need it. They've got a good goalkeeper. Chelsea, I think, need a better goalkeeper. Yeah. But would they go for it? I don't know. I think he's, out of all the keepers, I would like him. But also, what's his bloody name? I like the keeper at Dortmund as well. I can't remember his bloody name now.
There's one in France called Chevalier, and he's honestly like there's so many good goalkeepers in Europe that wouldn't cost like an arm and a leg. But I believe Vicario, like, it's time to move on from him. But he's not our biggest priority, but I think it's time.
But do you think he's that important to get rid of?
No, I don't think he's that important to get rid of. But, like, if you want to build a team that's based around, like, Thomas Frank's ideology, I'm sorry, but Vicario just doesn't fit that. The goalkeeper has to be good with his feet. If you look at David Raya, the other goalkeeper they sold to Bayern Leverkusen, they were all bloody good with their feet. And you even saw, if you watched the friendlies, you even saw, I think it was second half, Vicario was a bit struggling with the ball at his feet.
He was Dietrich, but that's what I'm saying. Hopefully this goalkeeper coach from Liverpool will say, right, I know what your weakness is. We're going to have training sessions working on your goddamn distribution. We've had so many goalkeepers where they just don't, like Lloris, where we didn't work on his distribution at all. I think we have to work on his distribution. And who knows what this goalkeeper coach can do for him. Kinski has got that part. Kinski has got that part already, but we'll see what the coach can do.
I actually don't understand one thing. You're a professional footballer. It's called football, like ball to your feet, and you're not good at playing with the ball. I just don't get it. But
the thing is with it, it is how it is these days. You've got, as a goalkeeper, in a lot of ways, the way they play, you can't just be a goalkeeper. You actually have to be half decent on the ball these days. You have to be even more than an old school sweeper keeper as such. And for me, when it comes to that style of play, there hasn't been a better goalkeeper who plays that way than Manuel Neuer, in my opinion. Like when it comes to a sweeper keeper who can come out, who can deliver, and basically do everything. Manuel Neuer is, in my opinion, one of the best goalkeepers there's ever been, especially as a sweeper keeper.
True.
And I just don't think I don't think Vicario is that important to get rid of. And I agree with what you're saying, Brian. Now we've actually got a goalkeeping coach.
Yep.
I think that can do him a lot of favours. And just to answer a quick question here off Teddy Klinsman, are you of Italian heritage? It's in the blood, put it that way. And I just like Italian football as well. I like the pragmatic football. I like the tactical football. sort of thing. It's just each their own, whatever turns you on at the end of the day. Some like blonde hair, some like blue eyes, whatever turns you on. But yeah, it's in the blood. I mean, go on. So now that we got a goalkeeper coach, you think that's going to do him big favours?
I hope so. I hope. Well, the proof will be in the pudding, won't it, Dan? We've got a goalkeeper. We've got a coach that has worked with. I mean, if you remember as well, Allison used to do little rickets, but not to the extent of Vicario. He used to have little wobblies with his feet, and he does have a once a season or whatever. I think it's definitely Vicario's biggest issue. But hopefully, this goalkeeping coach will say, right, okay. And we've seen a few of the goalkeeping drills that they've done so far in the videos, but it has been with them in goal. But hopefully, distribution will be a key thing that they focus on with Vicario, and positioning and reflexes or shot stopping will be a thing with Kinski.
I think it's going to be interesting. And Danny Kariaku, cheers for the super chat, mate. It's appreciated. I think our biggest issue is Dietrich's the bitch. We do have a lot of bitches at Spurs. I will give you that one, mate. I mean, who's the bigger bitch out of everyone?
That's a different show. That's a different show. That's a different show.
But one thing I can vouch is I'm not in that one. But the one I'll be the top at is I am the fucking prick on here. And I love it. And that's why. It's where the fun is in life, people. But some people are just dry lunch. Yeah, I go with what you're saying, Brian. I don't think he's one that we desperately need to get rid of, whatever and that. And as a shot stopper, I don't think people give him enough credit in the aspect of how many points has he saved us over the past 2 years?
Yep.
I mean, he has saved us a lot of times on foot.
Yep.
He gets down to the ground pretty quick. I mean, one other I want to bring up that people have been talking about is what's his name? Joshua. I can't pronounce his bloody name.
Joshua, yeah. Joshua. I've not seen enough of him to talk about him, but I see a lot of people speaking
about him either.
Is it about the Swiss player?
Yeah, but yeah, the Swiss. How about yeah?
I've watched. I watched him play. Like before, when I was on the Strike Sportive's channel, we used to like talk about like players in general. And there was this one lad. He's an Arsenal. I think he was an Arsenal Chelsea, if I don't remember correctly. He mentioned his name when he was playing in Switzerland, if I'm not mistaken, before. And he said, like, watch for this kid. He's gonna be the next best thing. And when he got his transfer to Bruges, I kept an eye because there was this Moroccan player that used to play on their wing that's now in Sunderland.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I watched him, I'm like, who the hell is this kid playing in the midfield? He is so good as a destroyer, and and his passes are lethal. If anyone gets him, specifically him, I'm telling you that's a gem. You're gonna watch everyone's gonna praise him the same way they praise him for Vuskovic. I think he has all the talent to be a good midfielder.
But isn't it that point that we're at now where we obviously, if we can get him as like an 8 million player sort of thing and go for it, but we got to look at the players that are ready for now as well, ain't we? Not just one or the other. Surely we got to look at the players for now. So would that just be another one where we go for the kid for a hit and hope?
You see, with this one, I agree with you, yes. The same way I criticize Harvey Elliott, I want someone that's like older in the mid-20s. But on this specific player, and if we can get him, I won't say on the cheap, but like, like 30 million, I think it would be a good buy. And trust me, in the future, give him 2-3 years, he's going to be like a 60 million, 70 million player.
I mean, fair enough. I
like,
mean,
he just needs the big stage, him specifically. And in the Champions League, he was...
How old is he?
22. Same age as Harvey Elliott.
He's not an out-and-out young player.
No.
It's, yeah, but for me, that's just like, it's going back on things again. I'd rather go out and get a player like Paulinho again with that one.
Yeah.
Instead of just going for the bloody kids.
Do you know what
Champions League.
No, you see, you see with this kid, he has Champions League experience. Not like Archie Gray. He has men's experience. But if you get Paulinho and he learns from him more of the defensive game, he's going to be our out and out. defensive mid / box to box that can be a lethal deep line playmaker.
Mm.
And trust me when I say this, like, I don't rate a lot of players. He's going to be the next best thing. Just remember his name.
Okay, and one last point I'm going to come to here, which I think is going to be an interesting one for a few people, is what the fuck is this all about of Levy giving the freedom to the City of London? Someone please explain it.
Oh, this one is for Brian.
So I went on We Are Tottenham TV after it broke, and I've been waiting for this. There's been a trend on social media with it. I went on there and said, so Daniel Levy's been given the freedom of London, and I said I want to play my Uno reverse and get a London freedom of Levy. So I'm doing my reverse. He's got this based on the amount of jobs created and stuff he's done in Tottenham and the area and charitable work Spurs have done. And on those, listen, on those things, this is a hoity-toity upper class, blah blah blah. You've got the freedom of London. Forget the football. This is nothing to do with football. It's to do with the jobs he's created, the charities that Spurs now endorse with, the stadium and all everything he's doing around the club. It's not based on football. It's not based on football. And I'm not going to bring football into it with this. Listen, he's won something, bully for him.
He's still
the freedom of London, surely it should have been like he's boosted Tottenham Hotspur area, not all of London. But look, listen, I will say when it comes to Tottenham being the size of the club they are now worldwide compared to when he was here, as a club, forget the football, it's gone it's gone through the roof with where we were.
There is positive sides to it, basically.
With the stadium, with
not
the
on the
training
football
ground.
side. Yeah.
I will say under Levy, I mean, all football clubs do it. All football clubs do it. There's no getting away from it. But Spurs do a lot of charity work, a lot within the area, and then some. So the kind of the boost that he's done for the area, in the amount of money coming into Tottenham, the area, it's all because of what's happened to this football club. As we know, Tottenham, when we were struggling, or the rumours were we were going to go to the Olympic Stadium. If Tottenham ever had done that, the area would have become an absolute fucking, oh my good God, it would have become a shit show. Criminal Central. It would have just, it would have just.
Still not off it.
No, listen, it's still not the safest of areas.
I don't go up there unless I've got knuckle dusters in my pocket.
You go to
London as a whole.
Yeah, you go to Tottenham. There are a lot of things away from football. If they had said they've done it for his achievements in football, then I would be having a massive meltdown and a rant. But there's times where you've got to just step back and say, do you know what? Listen, it's a Potsy Award. It makes no difference to any of our lives. He's getting recognised for contributions to London. And in Tottenham, whether it be employment, whether it be charity, whether it be commercial growth, whether it be the training ground and facilities and the architect, whatever.
They have made a difference up there.
They have. So I as much as I'd love to rant and go blah, 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 I'm just being comical and saying, let's get a London free of Levy rather than Levy being free in there. So that's that's it. Like I said, there's no getting away from it.
All right, then, fair enough. Right, I just want to say, Jason H, hi guys, do you think we'll see TF's mood get worse? I think in certain games you'll see him get a bit lively, in other games not as. I don't think you're going to see him standing there like a miserable prick like the other one we had. But obviously there is I want to see him get angry. I want to see, like, because he did Brentford a few times and that, get a bit moody on the side of the pitch and that. I just don't want, I'm sorry, I don't want my manager just standing there like that. And I hope he does get angry a few times when it goes wrong, because it is going to go wrong a fair few times before it all goes right, basically. I mean, just thanks for the super chat. I mean, you two quickly on that one before I go.
Say that again. Sorry, Matt. I was just responding to a message. Say it again, Dan.
That's okay. He's basically saying, Jason's saying, hi, guys, do you think we'll see Thomas Frank's mood get worse?
Worse in the what way? Exactly. What does he mean? In one way.
That's a fair point. Basically, I'll take it as you're going to see him get pissed off.
We'll see. I mean, like I said, well, he's coming to a football club with players supremely more talented than he's ever worked with. He's coming to a football club that's given him kudos and Sakai, but also we've got the other players that rejoined that were staying in Tel and Dan. So I have said this transfer window, I don't think at the moment, I don't think there's a need to. You got to remember, Thomas Frank will know behind the scenes what's going on a lot more than we all do. He'll know if the takeover money is coming in, if it's imminent. He'll know what's going on with Gibbs White. He'll know. I am being a lot more relaxed than I have been for any transfer window. There's still 39 days of it going. I think the closer, if we're still where we are right now, let's say August the 26th with a few days to go, then I think you will do. But I think he will do it behind the scenes. We'll see where we end up. But I still think before the end of the window, we'll have 3 or 4 players through the door, and Morgan Gibbs White will be one of them.
Yeah, let's just hope that works. Right, I just want to say big thanks to everyone for the super chats. For some reason, StreamYard ain't letting me find them. I have been trying for the past 10 minutes and the amount to go through and that. So it's well appreciated. Thank you for everyone for coming on here. And after this one, it's directly sent over to Mark's show. Please do go on there and give him a raid, and at least go on there, even if you don't want to watch it. Well, I can't imagine why you wouldn't want to, but if you're busy, whatever, go on there and at least give the fella some likes. He's a top man. Had a good drink with him the other week. And Brian, where are we going to see you again?
I'm doing a late night show tonight at 9 p.m. my time, which will be 2 a.m. back home. And Tottenham on Tour will be back on tomorrow at 2 p.m. UK time, 9 a.m. My time.
Brilliant. So, everyone, thanks for coming on. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the super chats. And we'll catch up with everyone soon. Please go over to Mark's one and at least give him a like. And I just can't imagine why you wouldn't want to watch it. So, have a good day, everyone. I'm going to go have my dinner and I'm going to go chill out and have a beer and a smoke and chill out. See you later, everyone. Take care.
Leave it.
I'm gonna turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down.